What's good, everybody? Welcome to another stream. I hope everybody's doing well, about as well as you could, considering some of the, let's just say, where America is at, where the West is at, where the political climate is at. And today we'll be discussing pretty much all of that. I want to just open my saying for you guys that were initially maybe looking forward to some of our reactions to the reactions for Norfolk Glorious Death. Obviously, it's a weird time right now when we felt that it would be a lot more tasteful to kind of acknowledge this elephant in the room instead of kind of just going about business as if nothing has gone on. So I think it's serious enough for us to do it. It makes a lot of sense for us to go this route.
Actually considering to cancel the whole thing, right?
We were considering, but I was like, let's just at least talk to him about it. So we'll postpone it. Sure, it'll be after the collection is closed for Norfolk Glorious Death, but that doesn't matter. We could still do a fun stream and react to that. It's no big deal. So you can go grab Norfolk Glorious Death right now anyway over at riververse.com. We appreciate you. We're still going to close that out tomorrow at 11 p.m. So thank you all so much. Of course, joined by my man's Dan Vasc. X-Wing is here as well, man. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. Good to see you guys. Thank you for having me on. I'm sure people are tired of seeing me. I've been all over the place over the past 2 days, just talking, talking.
No, man, it's we never get tired of friendly faces in dark times, man. Yeah. That sort of shit is needed.
It's important, and I think a lot of people are looking. They're looking somewhere for some kind of answer, some kind of solution, right. And I don't think we have one. So all we got right now is each other, and Jesus.
Yeah,
I mean, bro, all I've been holding on
to. I think I never said the words Jesus Christ out loud so many times in such a short time, and you know those situations that you just don't have anything else to say. You can just say like Jesus Christ, man. Jesus Christ.
I mean, obviously we're gonna need them if we're gonna get kind of through this, because I don't know what the other side of this is going to look like. So I'll set the scene, to get us conversing. Initially, as you guys maybe have followed me, the people that are in the chat, maybe you've been following me over the years. I first met Charlie. My first time ever meeting him was in 2016. And that was when really, I know, TBUSA got started before that. I believe he was like only 18 years old when he started TBUSA. But that was when it really started to kind
2016.
2016 was actually like 4 years after it had started, but it really started to gain ground around that particular election.
That was the height of the intellectual dark web. Remember that phenomenon, that expression, intellectual dark web?
That
was starting.
Yes, and that's when a lot of and you had basically be it commentators or organizations, a lot of them really exploded during that period of time. TBUSA was one of them, but I first met him there. We had talked. He knew me as obviously as a commentator and everything, and we talked obviously about music as well. And he had given me a bunch of, when I first met him, he gave me a bunch of merchandise. And if you remember some of my early videos, I used to rock a lot of that stuff as well. Even at shows, there are shows with me wearing some of that merch that he gave me himself. And I remember in 2016, even when he wasn't like as pro-Trump like as he is right now, he was never anti-Trump, but he was he had said plenty of times like Trump wasn't his favorite. But from a strategic perspective, this is what we got. This is how we need to handle. And as a strategist, he's been pretty good there. And one of the things that that was very cool about who he was, which is really symbolic of what happened with his death. Even when I started to, because I only that I can remember, and sure, maybe there's a For Cannon's Sake episode that I don't remember that I criticized him on. I don't think I ever remember criticizing Kirk on, like publicly at least, was on. He was like when Ivanka, I don't know if you guys remember, was floating around like this federally mandated like paid leave, family leave. I was like, well, that's socialistic. I was like, let's not. And he was kind of in support of it. And it wasn't like even a big clash. Like we had talked about that type of stuff in person. We obviously crossed a bunch of paths and Blaze and all this, and all was good. It was never like he took anything personal ever. No, he never took anything personal. I think that's obviously how he approached debating, going all campus to campus, having discussions. And that's what to me makes this so, and I talk with Az about this, shout out. But what makes this so jacked up is of all of the commentators, obviously he's one of the bigger ones, but of all of the commentators, he's the more moderate. Yeah, right. Of them.
Bro, completely.
You know, and it's like they wanted him out of there and he's one of the more moderate ones. Think about the others that are far more rough around the edges than he is, but it really shows the folks on that side, particularly with the reactions, which I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I even underestimated them. I knew that there were going to be people that were going to, and we called it, like, celebrate that. Yeah. We knew that. But to this degree, people putting, I mean, with their faces out there doing full videos, like, of themselves celebrating a guy that was killed.
The shamelessness.
Shameless. No shame whatsoever. Yeah. And them doing that, even I underestimated, number one, the amount of people that would do that.
It's usually like the anonymous accounts on Twitter, like non-verified, no profile bots. Picture. Yeah.
No, the demons are
that's what I was expecting too.
Yeah.
It's like I said, I even underestimated that. Watching that whole thing watching this unfold, and still to this day, people having these absolute terrible fucking takes on this subject, and I'm like, damn, like, people are really fucked up, like, soulless. There's no decency, and I think that's really what separates today's day and age. And maybe it's a case of social media just amplifies this. I really don't know. But I don't get that feeling decades prior that people acted like this. Even if it was someone that was unfavorable, there used to at least be some sort of decency among people being, like, killed, right? Like, it was it wasn't celebration. But now, and again, maybe it's just I'm kind of I'm caught up in the times, right? Social media is front facing. We see it all. We got these mini computers, so I'm exposed to it a lot more than what I was even 10 years ago. But I don't remember it being like this, dude. Where people were this, like, I hate to use the term demonic because I know it's thrown out there so much, but I don't know what other way to describe someone that fucking evil to respond like that. I just don't remember it being. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I just don't remember it being this bad.
No, yeah,
it's possible that it just wasn't that easy to see.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Being able to track these people and see them and their platforms is so much broader now than it was, when JFK was assassinated or something like that. There, even 9/11. We really have from 9/11, if you remember, there's the guys dancing, in front of the towers as they're falling down. I'm sure it's been there, but the visibility is much higher. And what I would say, something I just want to throw in, because, I try to see the good in things, and there's not a whole lot of good to find in this, but the amount of religious stuff that I've seen, both on TikTok, on Twitter, on all these different social media platforms from young people, has been really surprising. So as much darkness as there has been, there is a lot of light coming as well. And a lot of people talking about, like, dude, this is why we need Jesus. Like, society is in a very, very bad spot. And these are 17, 18-year-old kids that are saying I can't believe what I'm seeing from my generation. This is awful. So that's one good thing.
How would you guys compare the climate now to when Trump was shot?
Oh, it's way different, because then, there was, you had someone that shot at, obviously, this massive figure, and a guy that was president for sure. That's massive. But there was always that, well, he's still with us kind of thing, right? Where it's like someone had an attempt on his life, they failed. This is fundamentally different and worse, obviously, because they killed him. Like, and it's on, like, everybody saw it. Like, unfortunately, we have these videos that, we're going to have to live with for the rest of our lives there. And so are their family of him being killed. It's so front facing. It's so, there's no coming back from that. You can patch up your ear and whatnot, but this is the worst of the absolute worst. And like I said, he's not just like a random guy, like a commentator, like a guy that people knew. It was like, as far as modern political, the modern political right and Republican strategist, like he was really involved. He wasn't a politician, right? But he was greatly involved, and his organization was greatly involved in getting people elected. And also, particularly with young people, he was probably the most popular among them because he was really known for going university to university and engaging with them. Like that's what he did. That was his thing, right? So it just hits a lot different for people, I think, especially in our age group and younger, with this, and it hits more with everybody. Like X-Wing give his thoughts being out here as well, but it hits, I think, more than with everybody because, I mean, again, it's not like, hey, my ear is going. At this is the point of absolute no return.
Yeah, man, I was going to say the same. I think it's a lot worse, and also because, like, a sniper shooting assassination, that is stuff reserved for massive political leaders.
In public, like that stuff is for sure.
Massive people, like, that's how you kill royalty.
Right.
And that was directed to someone like you and me.
Yeah.
You know what separates you who are watching us from home from Charlie Kirk? Like, obviously, he's very well spoken, very well studied. That's why he was so effective. But nowadays, it doesn't take all of that to go viral online.
Yeah,
and
to be
very influential.
Yeah, that's the key term. Yeah.
What separates you from Charlie Kirk is a couple of well-placed videos.
You're not wrong.
What separates the common person, you at home, you and your family who are watching us, might be watching us right now, is a couple well-placed videos in the right time at the right place. And you have Charlie Kirk's influence.
Yeah.
And that royalty type assassination was reserved for someone that close to you. That's similar to you.
And it's kind of, I don't want to say scary, but it is like a reality that we face. I mean, this is the new age, right? In that you can have great influence politically. I mean, this is the case that I've been making for 15 years, right? Talking about culture being on this. Some Andrew Breitbart understood, and it's famously quoted saying, basically that politics are on the downstream of culture, right? And it's something that Charlie understood, and he understood that while he himself obviously wasn't in office, it didn't stop him from influencing the political landscape in some capacity. And especially in the age of social media, everything and being so connected, like you bring up a great point, Dan, in that, like this is essentially someone civilian, right? That could be anybody like out there that, you can start your own little organization. You can get some videos to go viral. You can get your own shows and do all this. And next thing, like, look at our good friend, Benny Johnson. Benny Johnson came out of nowhere. He's one of the most popular, commentators in this space. He wasn't around that long ago. He's relatively kind of new in terms of being as big as he is, but he's very, very, very influential. And that's the thing that gets me about this. There she is. So she got the link. Shout out Gothix. What's up?
Hey.
Hi, Gothix.
Hey, y'all. How you doing?
Good.
Oh, good. Doing good. I appreciate you joining us, by the way. We're just going on. I'm just rambling about how, and Gothix, you can feel me on this. You can kind of speak to this because I got out of the, like, going college to college, university. I think my last little tour that I did was like 2017, 2018. I hadn't done it since then, but you have, going place to place. And I would love to get your like kind of initial thoughts as someone that also knew Charlie like I did on what's going on.
My initial thoughts were, first of all, I'm not surprised that this happened. I figured it was going to be a matter of time because I've been listening to what you've been saying, and Charlie Kirk represented something for like Americans in general. Like he was literally exercising his right to free speech. These people don't care about dialogue, but at the same time, when I saw that, I'm like, well, I think it's still worth it to at least try because you're going to change someone's mind in the process. But this is what these people resort to when their ideas are indefensible. They think that taking someone out is going to be the solution. And I immediately thought of like, what I do and the walk away and all of these, you know, I've worked with Turning Point and stuff like that. And I think these people are banking on the hopes that maybe this will scare us enough to shut us up. But I am angry and I think anger is a great motivator.
For sure. Right there with you on that. I mean, it's like, I don't anticipate. I've seen some people antsy, right? Like I just saw actually even Shapiro talking about this, and it's like, we're going to be doing these tours. We're going to keep doing these. It's not going to stop. You're just silencing people like that. But yeah, it is kind of a head on a swivel situation. For sure. It is. It tells you that this type of stuff is not just, at least with regards to like political influence, it's not something that's only reserved for politicians, which that in and of itself is I think the more cultural change in what we've seen here. They want to go after people that are influential, right? It's not just you know the president or the senators or the representative or a lawmaker, judge. It's not just that anymore. It's like people that like us have might be out of their homes doing shows or what have you. If you have influence, there is unfortunately a growing amount of just really rotten people that want you eliminated. And I've been very harsh in bringing this up, and some people think that I've been overstating over the last decade.
Not at all.
When I've said like these people want you dead, like I famously said and wrote songs about. But that's the reality. And even if it's not them wanting to carry it out, they sure would anticipate that someone else does. And at minimum, they're going to celebrate as they are doing right now in the event that something like this happens. Like I said, I don't know what's going to happen out of this. I have no idea what this is going to look like on the other side. I do think that this is that sort of going to be that, for lack of better terms,
turning point.
Right. Right. For a lot of people, like, okay, we've maybe let this manifest, because this is what the left has done masterfully, is that they've taken advantage of people that are to the right of Stalin and their decency, right? They weaponized it even against us, because typically when something happens that is wrong objectively, the economic right especially does not start to immediately burn up places and start to target people that had absolutely nothing to do with that general conflict, like the left typically does. They don't just go screwing stuff up. So they've weaponized that decency for a very, very, very long time. And it's not to say that I think that people are going to just lash out like that. I think that people are going to be a lot more, I don't want to say reserved, but I think people are going to be a lot more mindful, right? About what the hell is going on. Like we can't really afford to be idealists about this anymore. Like I think for a very long time we like to project our set of ethics onto particularly the authoritarian left.
No, absolutely,
but they don't abide by that, and it's hard partly, to accept.
Yeah, it's partly because of the gaslighting that's happening. Like, someone literally wants you dead. Then you tell them to go fuck themselves, and you're intolerant because you told someone who wants you dead to go fuck themselves. You're tolerant. You are like, you see how this goes. You see how
I have
this
a toddler.
happens,
I'm telling you, there are a lot of parallels here. Like, you can't argue with them, right? They're not interested in reasoning. They're not interested in having an argument. It's their way or the highway. And the crazy part about this whole thing is that this has been 10 years in the making. It's been a very long, very slow, very calculated process. And it's rough, man. I mean, like you said, Gothix, it's a solution, right? Like Jay said yesterday, this is the highest form of cancel culture.
Final solution.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one thing that I continuously reiterate is I don't think it's wise to put all your faith behind any political party. Like, I identify as totally independent, because the corruption that you see on the left, you can easily say that about the right. And I'm starting to already see it.
That's fair.
And if you just say that this is just left versus right, I think people are missing the bigger picture. Because Eric, you mentioned something about objective morality. We're talking to people that have no sense of morals. Like, everything is subjective to them. It's like, okay, you want to kill babies in the womb, but if they get shot up at a school shooting, totally fine, right? And then you can use that for your anti-gun stuff. You want more anti-gun policies, but you're going to celebrate the death of Charlie Kirk. So which one is it? Like, do you want people to die? Or not? Like, I'm not really seeing the consistency here. And I think that's really the problem is these people, this is as close to heaven as they're going to get. So they're going to act accordingly.
Yeah. And to your point, this is not like, like you said, this is not a inherently Republican Democrat thing. Like, having a relationship with God or having a nice, close-knit family is not an inherently Republican thing.
Right.
Yeah. That's an American value, right? That's something we value as Americans. And the goalposts have been shifted so many times. I think in 2000, whatever the case, I was just barely right of center. You know what I mean? But they've shifted the goal points at this point to the point where, that guy's like a domestic terrorist. He's got a mustache. He probably, hates people. It's insane. Yeah. So the goalposts keep shifting and they keep redefining what these arguments are over and over again to the point where they're always right. You know what I mean? That's that moral superiority that we're talking about. You're fighting an idea. You're not fighting a group.
Yeah. And it's not these. Go ahead, Dan. Go ahead.
No, just going to say that what Ripa said on his video, if you haven't watched Ripa's video on the subject, go watch it. It's great. It's not an exaggeration at all, especially if you analyze by the historical patterns of how the left operates. It's like, why are you surprised? As Gothix said, there's no surprise at all in this. There's no, there's nothing out of the norm. There's nothing extraordinary about what happened to Charlie Kirk. That is historically the norm. That is the status quo of how the left operates. People who knowingly defend an ideology that has been the biggest slaughterhouse in human history are capable of murdering. Why are we surprised that those people who defend that are capable of murdering? It's not surprising. So what I said on my speech on Jay's stream last night, read about the history of communism, read about the history of the 20th century, and you will understand that this was predictable. This is how it was supposed to go. And that's the people who we were dealing with.
Yeah, and again, I'm not going to sit up here and pretend like it's a. And again, this is a point I've made for the better part of a decade and a half, man. Like it's a difficult person, and not by person I'm saying I'm speaking from the ideological standpoint to combat, right? Because we know they're not going to play by the rules. We know that ultimately, if it means that they think or it moves in the direction of what they want as an end game politically or socially, which they're both hand in hand, they will kill. Like that's just and feel justified. I think that's what my first video, my initial reactions was talking about, the constant dehumanization, right? That has plagued, unfortunately, the West for the last about 10 years, right? Not to say that it hasn't existed longer than that, but I think they were very specific. It was a reason why they were trying to label anybody to the right of Bernie Sanders as some evil Yahtzee, because they then would feel justified in whatever happens to you. And this is the point. I don't know if you guys remember the video when the whole like punch a Nazi thing was a thing. And I was telling people to have those reservations as far as dealing with these people honestly, because you need to understand when they say Nazi, they're not referring to guys that worship or follow the German dude with the funny mustache. That's not who they are referring to. What they are then trying to do is place everybody that, again, they feel are an obstacle that's in the way of their ideological endgame into that box, right? So if I can convince even the general public that these people are among the worst of the worst of the worst, then whatever I choose to do to them, I am now justified in that behavior. That's the whole point of it. And I know it's not as easy to see when it's initially happening. And a lot of us wrote it off. I told people to look, don't take that stuff serious because that word doesn't mean a thing. But that was done with purpose. That was done for a reason. It wasn't just like we're just going to call them that just for the sake of calling them that. They wanted to dehumanize individuals. And that's why even to this day, when you see what happened and you go on social media and you hear people talk about this whole ordeal, talk about the murder, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, They don't even know what he did that's bad, right? They have no idea. They'll throw the buzz terms at all. He said he was a bigot. He aligned himself this, that. But that's the point. That was always the point. We can lump him and them in whatever way that we may, and therefore, once we do something to them or someone else does something to them, now we are justified. Well, we were just taking out the trash. It was a bad guy. There's net gain that we've done this. And these are evil people. This is why I said he considered how moderate he is in comparison to someone like me, namely, right? Like, consider how moderate this guy is. Like, think of the stuff that I said over the years. It's way more in your face than what anything. Even when I did my college, he used to put on a master class and dealing with these people in debate. If you remember when I used to do my college tours, they weren't like that. I wasn't as nice as what he was by any means. But they took him out. They took out the moderate. This is why I say it, and this is not hyperbole when I say, best believe they want you out of there too. Mm-hmm. And if they can get it, they'll take it. That's for sure that they're going to take it. And it's not frightening. I'm not saying people should be scared everywhere they go. I think you should, for sure, like, keep your head on a swivel. You have to. If you've learned absolutely nothing else, be it with the death of the Ukrainian refugee or with this deal right here, it's not to say that it's like you're going to prevent every single thing that's going to ever happen. That's not what I'm saying at all. But you got to give yourself a shot, and you need to keep your head on a swivel, because we are dealing with some very, again, I don't want to play the religious card too much because maybe people think I play it too much, but these are evil people that we are dealing with. Yeah,
it's the truth.
Yeah, for most definitely.
I'm sure even an agnostic and an atheist understands like the language. These people are demonic, and but it's interesting, man. It's been a series of happenings as of late. Three major ones. The first, the transsexual with the church kids.
Yeah, and that just happened. That's crazy, man. That just happened not too long ago.
The Ukrainian girl, and now this is like boom, 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 and it's like people are like in shock, and it's just crazy, man. Because it's as Ripa said, dehumanizing people with the goal of enabling that sort of stuff, with the goal of justifying that sort of thing to happen. And then when you give back a little bit of the same currency, when you exercise your right to freedom of association, when you exercise your right of social ostracism, you are the intolerant one. You are the fascist. You are this. You are that. And it's like it's such a gaslighting, and that's why the social ostracism, the Cold War that's been happening as of late culturally, has been so one-sided, because we've been falling for that kind of for that kind of foolishness.
Yeah.
It's time to start exercising our right of social ostracism. Start cutting ties. Start issuing ultimatums and standing by them. Yeah. And business relationships and ties, cut relationships. Start to... It's a powerful tool, social ostracism. It's a very powerful tool, and it's peaceful.
I agree.
It can work both ways too, because I think a lot of people on the left don't want to be lumped in with all of these slogans that people are calling them. I mean, they're cowards, but I think if something is truthful and something is objectively wrong, I think it's good to disassociate. In fact, my husband yesterday, he had to cut off ties with his long-term high school friends, people we invited to our wedding, because they were literally in the Discord just like, celebrating the death.
Don't look back.
And then lumping all like right-wingers in this category. I'm like, you're literally talking about my husband and I. Like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah. That's look, and I think you're totally correct to do that. Like, again, like, if you don't have enough decency to just for 1 second in a day just to be like, this sucks. Sure, you may have disagreed with them. Sure, maybe they didn't hold the political positions that you held. But if you don't even have the decency to just say, that's bad.
Yeah.
fundamentally, we are not seeing eye to eye. This is not someone that you are going to be able to peacefully, realistically coexist with. If absolute murder is something that they are willing to celebrate and justify of a person that debated people on campus, you know what I'm saying? Like that's where I'm like, I don't think it's not cancel culture by any means to cut folk off that are like that.
There's no dialogue. There's no dialogue with people who want you dead. It's plain and simple.
That's what's so tough is like, I'm trying to remember Charlie and like what he stood for. And he said it very clearly. When we stop talking, when there's no more discourse, that's when bad things start happening. But I think there's also a point where you got to realize there's no talking this person out of this. You know what I mean? No amount of conversation, no amount of logic, no amount of reason is going to change their mind. It's just been poisoned.
It's insane. It really is. It's like I totally empathize with people, even if, especially with folks that you know, where you think that they are reasonable people. And I even understand why you would want to try to have some sort of discourse, dialogue with that person that you feel can be reasoned with. But as I always say, if they didn't get to their position by way of that, it is nearly impossible. And at some point, you are only setting yourself up for failure, basically ramming your head into a wall, thinking that you can reason with this very unreasonable, emotional, irrational person. You're only hurting yourself. And most importantly, and this is what I said when I called it a death trap. That's what I meant. When you refuse to acknowledge the reality, no matter how harsh it is, you're only setting yourself up for failure. Like, you cannot operate like these guys are reasonable people that don't want anything to happen to you if they have shown otherwise. You know what I mean?
Bro,
if they have shown you who they are.
Unity at all costs, kumbaya bullshit. It's so childish at this point, man. It's not only naive, it's dangerously naive. If you believe in unity at all costs at this point, man, I hope you don't leave your house without a helmet at this point. Because, I mean, divorces exist for a reason. Locks on your door exist for a reason. Walls exist for a reason, because there are some people that you cannot coexist with.
Yeah.
And it's completely okay, not only completely okay, but desirable, morally desirable to acknowledge that.
I would say it's necessary to ensure the most amount of peace, right? I mean, the great Hans, if you don't know Hans Hermann Hoppe, he is a anarcho-capitalist philosopher. And one of the things that even other libertarians took exception to when he recognized the actual fact, if you read Democracy, the God That Failed, and he talks about basically if you were to maintain this social order, right? And he was talking about in that case, like this libertarian social order, people that are basically run antithetical to it have to be physically removed. Like, and people took that as some like illibertarian position, when it's like it's a reality. Like, how can that social order maintain it being that liberty social order if you are going to have people within it that have made it abundantly clear that's not what they want, and in fact they don't want it, they want it removed. You have to then get them out. And I think that's the crossroads rather that America is in right now, because they are realizing just how many people on this trajectory, this is not doable, right? It's a reality. Yeah. This is not doable to live like you're ensuring conflict. Let me say that. Yeah, you're ensuring conflict with these folks among these people if you try to force these guys to be amongst each other, because they don't believe what we believe. They don't uphold to the same values. The ethics, set of morals are completely and totally different. These are not folks that we can live with peacefully. And to be fair, they've made it clear that they don't want that anyway. So you shouldn't even feel like a bad person when you're like, look, I got to get myself out of this situation. They've made it clear. Now they're putting it on social media. They're putting faces to their names and telling you that this is what they want. It should have been a wake-up call when folks, for whatever reason, were praising the idea of the healthcare CEO that got offed in the middle of the street. That should have been the way everybody wake up call. Like these people that were, when they saw how people were reacting to it, heralding this guy like he was some freaking hero. I was like, what? I don't care. Yeah. I'm the biggest critic of the healthcare system in America and the government's involvement in it. I don't think he should be assassinated for it.
Yeah.
But people think that's okay.
Yeah. It's animalistic behavior, dude.
It's
insane.
It's barbaric as it gets. They
subjective morals. Subjective morals that dictate that the ends justify the means, and that is foundational to the left. That is foundational to Marxism. You need, in order to justify something like Marxism, communism, socialism in your head, you need to abandon all objective morals, because you need to do some demonic stuff to set up what you have in mind, what you believe is best for society, and you need to believe that that is justifiable. What you're doing is justifiable. So subjective morals and postmodernism is foundational to people like these.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, guys, because I know you do again do a lot of the walk away and the team. You do a lot of, obviously public appearances, like definitely at universities. With the people that you talk to, that what's the sense that everybody's feeling, like as far as the people that are in your corner, that when you guys go run the universities?
Oh, they're distraught. Like, if anything, with Walkaway in particular, like Brandon was even saying, we have to up security. But at the same time, it's like, well, Charlie had security. How do you prevent something like that from happening?
Right.
But I mean, we got to do what we can. We just have to move differently. But I mean, like I said, I think these people are banking on us being fearful because they've invested so much into this grand communist agenda that there's no going back. And someone of Charlie Kirk's level, I mean, he was too effective. So I definitely I'm concerned. Definitely, my husband's concerned for me. Like when I go on these trips,
I'd imagine,
and I totally get it. But they want us afraid. They want to shut us up. But I don't know. I think Charlie really started something that it's just going to continue. There's no stopping it. Just got to move differently.
Yeah.
That's
gotta be more aware. Yeah.
That's
go ahead,
the goal, Gothix. And this was a terrorist attack.
Yeah.
This was a terrorist attack, and the people celebrating this, the people laughing at this, the people justifying this are complicit with this terrorist attack. And the goal of any terrorist attack is fear, is to send a message to me and you at home and your families. And the message is this: this could be you if you don't shut up. Mm-hmm. This could be you if you don't behave.
No.
That's the message. When people laugh at this publicly and they shamelessly make that public,
I've seen TikTok people saying you're next. Like I've seen it.
It's not even metaphorical anymore.
Yeah, no,
so
not at all.
It's a message to you. The people who are complicit with this, who are celebrating it, they want you to see them celebrating it because they want you to be afraid and they want you to get the message.
That is, by definition, terrorism.
It is.
Yes, no, by textbook definition, that's exactly what terrorism is. Bring up a fantastic point there. But yeah, they want you fearful for sure. I mean, I think Gothix puts it perfectly. It's like you want to be cognizant, you want to be aware, you got to move differently, but you don't want to quit. For sure. Like that's not anything I think that's on the table. I think if anything, it should light a fire under you. And kind of influence you to really, really get things going, if not in speaking out, because when we haven't, we've seen what this manifests, how this manifests. And it has been very, very interesting. I think it's also been a wake-up call for a lot of normies as they've seen, why I seen Aiden Ross, which he's not a normie. He was really politically involved in this last election, but seeing him seeing his own mods, right? Sort of make snarky comments, commentators that don't generally talk about this, and we know that they lean left anyway, are like, well, wait a minute, this is pretty screwed up, and they're seeing their own chats reflect that. I think it's going to be very helpful for them to see just how screwed up people are, because I think some folks have been living in la la land.
Yeah.
I really do. I believe that a lot of them have been living in La La Land. I'll give a big shout out to our homie Jeremy right there for dropping a $100, man. What's up with it, bro?
Let's
He's been killing it
go.
as well. Big shout out to Jeremy. I'm gonna get some of the other supers in
Jeremy was streaming through the whole thing, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate the hell out of that.
Shout out, man. No, you were absolutely killing. That's where I went once me and Az got out of our stream. Looking at Jeremy and everybody talking about this. Shout out to Jay as well for discussing this. It's just an absolute crazy moment, man. And I think it's important that everybody's chiming in for sure. But like again, to Gothix's point, like, I don't think people need to be fearful. I don't want people to out there quitting. I did tell people, look, keep your head on a swivel, but that doesn't mean quit. Like, for sure, if you got to up your security, if you have to be a little more, again, aware, because you tend to live in La La Land about the reality of the world. It's certainly not the world that you maybe grew up in. There are people that are out there that want to do bad things to you, and that I know it hurts for people to have to see that, because they think of it like this could even be my neighbors, like that have this dislike or disgust for me, and it's all political BS, right? And it sucks. It sucks to have to come to terms with that. I mean, I've had to come to terms with that long ago, but it's a reality nonetheless. It's that there's a lot of folks that want you dead, and be it through the mainstream and the media and all these entertainment entities and some of the people that work on these entertainment entities. When I want to talk about here in a little bit, how many of them have been just basically mocking everything that's going on. It's just, people need to see how rotten things are. Like, it's filthy, bro. It runs deep, man. Drug 3PO, shout out to you again. I'm just talking about you and your stream, man. Thank you so much for the 10 gifted, and welcome everybody there. But I don't know. I know Gothix, obviously you've been, connected you were with some of a lot of these streamers and other things. Like, have you been keeping tabs on what the hell, how the hell they've been digesting all of this crazy?
What streamers? The non-political streamers?
Yeah, namely the non-political ones. We already know, like, some of like the leftist streamers and how they feel. Some of the stuff that they've been saying, man, like, has been, it's not unbelievable, but even still, when I hear them say some of the things that they say, I'm like, fuck, dude, like, these guys they don't give a fuck.
It's literal brain rot, and they're not going to care until it happens to them personally. That was literally my wake up moment. Is, wow, the people that I thought were in my circle are coming at me, literally calling me all these names. Right. And so it's, unfortunately, that's what it's going to take, is when they have to consider, oh, the cost of me having my own mind and my own thoughts is me getting slandered as the bad guy. So, I don't think people realize, because you mentioned like the entertainment, like, these communists, they've infiltrated literally every facet of society. And that's why what Charlie Kirk has created is so important. Like, when I go to these campuses with the walkaway campaign, these students will get like in our face, they'll steal our signs, and then the staff will just be there just watching. Like, they don't intervene or anything. And this is supposed to be some place where you can have intellectual discourse, but you can't even handle a difference in opinion. So these people know that if you want to control the future, you got to get them when they're young.
Yep.
And I think entertainment is another layer to that, because most people build their worldview on entertainment, information, education, religion.
And those are all things that people that the left has infiltrated.
Literally.
Well, that's you put that perfectly. Our man Epic Mike just got in here, man. What's up with it, bro?
Mike.
What's up, Mike?
Hey, how's it going, y'all?
Great to have you, man.
Been a crazy couple days. That's for sure.
Yeah, man. Great to be among friendly faces.
Yeah, for sure. Like, everybody here, and we can chat about everything. And I want to bring this up because, again, it was great that Mike's here. And with as involved as Gothix is with like the gaming, and so is Mike, with some of the entertainment stuff. I did end up seeing this. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick, if I can find my tab here. I'm assuming that's it. Yeah, it is. Okay. So this just happened not too long ago, but I don't know if you know this thing here. Gretchen Felker Martin, whatever the real name is, I have no idea, immediately was mocking the death of Charlie Kirk. Now, Gretchen here.
Wait. in the famous words of Professor Oak from Pokemon, are you a boy or a girl?
Yeah.
What is
yeah,
this?
it's a dude. Again, that's why I said
Oh.
I don't know his real name.
Okay.
Gretchen, what they go by, okay? But
Okay.
long story short,
Oh, yikes.
Damn.
long story
bro.
short, this thing is a writer on Red Hood of all people. I don't know how you could even like Todd. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. How this person could even write a story that way. But their series has now been canceled by DC. So I, say this as a comic book company owner. Like, I mean, kudos to them, I guess, for doing this. But immediately after, they were mocking. This is a writer for the Red Hood series that I think was going to be a 12-issue limited series. But they were mocking Charlie Kirk unapologetically. And then I guess DC jumped in and said, look, they were already on their first issue. They're like, we're cutting bait with this. And yesterday, I don't have the actual art. I think Pop Verge, somebody reported it. Oddly enough, in that original report, let me see if that Park Place actually had. They don't have the link. Let me see if I can find that real quick.
So he's calling Charlie a Yahtzee.
Yeah.
Isn't he like super pro Israel?
Yeah,
Interesting. Huh? They've got so many different irons in the fire at this point. They're confused about what they're angry about. You know what I mean? It's insane. And it's always some super fat, unathletic, ugly dude chick with freaking grandma glasses. It's always them.
Well, I mean, the
He's
narrative.
confused about himself.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing. They hate themselves.
Well, and the thing, like, we make that joke about NPCs and stuff, but the reality is, like, the talking points are always the same. Like, they never deviate. You have them always use the same words. You call in, people from Israel, Yahtzees as well. It's like, none of what you said makes sense, bro.
Actual
like,
Jews.
Yeah. It's like, so it just, they use the word fascist because a guy was, talking to people. Like, it just doesn't, none of it makes sense, but it's all they know. Like, that's their whole identity is, well, if I call people this, like, that's the new talking point. And it's actually, like, you guys were talking about this earlier with, like, unfriending people and blocking people on social media and stuff. They're all just saying the same thing.
Right.
It's not like, hey, I didn't like this guy and I have some nuanced takes on it. It's always the same talking points. Even the people on social media who are trying to be like, understanding, but still have to make a point to talk about how much they didn't like Charlie. They all say the same stuff. They go, I don't accept any of this. It's not good. We shouldn't do any of that. However, and all of them say it at the same time, and they all say the same things. And after a while, you start going, dude, what is going on here? Why do all these people dress the same? Why do they all look the same? Why do they all talk the same? Like, and yet the people that they claim are the fascists and the Yahtzees and the people that should be in lockstep with each other all look different and talk different and act different and have disagreements about stuff and are willing to have conversations about different things. It almost doesn't make sense.
It's illogical. And I did find that, and this was trippy. When it was Popverse, I knew it was someone that initially reported on it. Oddly enough, they neglected to say why Gretchen why this project was essentially canceled. They didn't show any of that. They just mentioned that DC had said that DC Comics, we place the highest value on our creators and community and confirm the right to peaceful individual expression of personal views, posts, or public comments that can be viewed as promoting hostility or violence or inconsistent with DC standards of conduct. But yeah, they didn't include any of that, though. That's exactly why they ended up canceling this Red Hood project, was because of her saying the stupid things that she said. But, as Gothix has mentioned, and I know many of us have talked about on various podcasts and shows, how deep this thing runs. As people are uncovering, seeing basically how folks are responding to it, is a nice little it's a litmus test, if anything.
Yeah.
And you're seeing how many people that are like developers on video games and writers and producers, and obviously, people that are directly tied to some of these projects that, we may know and love or be looking forward to, who are saying some of really just the most abhorrent things about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And that, I think, is what I think normies really didn't don't really understand like how deep it lies. Like it's not like we're just talking out of our behinds when we bring this stuff up. When we say it is bad, they have infiltrated. It is with intent, and they are trying to use that stuff as a vehicle for their own personal political or social ideology. That's the fact of the matter. People seeing folks respond to this now, hopefully it will be a wake-up call for even those normies that see just how rotten things are. Like there are people that are making these games. I saw the some developer on Ghost of Yote, the next Ghost of Tsushima follow-up. And what they had, the crazy things that they were saying, I just think it's nuts, that they would even say something like that. Like, again, they're putting their face with their statements.
Thing that could happen.
Well, yeah, for us.
No,
yeah.
If your enemy is making a mistake, let him.
Don't get in the way.
Jeremy was talking about that.
Yeah,
I have to wonder if some of these studios see this as a little bit of a blessing. Like maybe that script sucked, but they're trying to avoid a PR nightmare. They didn't want to fire him because all these people are going to come after us now. Blah blah blah.
Well,
and it's like, sweet, get it out.
Well, I was saying this the other day. Like the people on the board of directors, they don't believe any of that stuff. They're not sitting on Twitter worried about any of this stuff. What matters to them is, are we making money? Like, is the company going to be, benefit from all of this? Are our stockholders going to be happy because of this? They don't care about any of that stuff. And most of those guys, surprise, surprise, are usually conservative leaning because they're capitalists and they want to make money. They don't care about Marxism. They don't care about any of that stuff because they have millions to billions of dollars that they have to be concerned with. They hire these people based on, a lot of times, other people saying, hey, this is the best way to go forward. This is how we're going to make the most money. We've seen it in the entertainment sphere across the board. A lot of these companies pivoted and shifted to what they thought was going to be their new audience, this Gen Z audience that was going to think this way and act this way. And they found out, guess what? Nobody actually legitimately thinks that way. It's a very small sect of people that don't have any money and don't have anything going for themselves that have infiltrated a lot of these companies and infiltrated a lot of these entertainment spheres. And so I think that's the reality of it, is they're like, you know what? We don't need to waste our time with this anymore. This is bad for us. It was never going to be good for us. And now these same people that would have been at the head of these cancel culture campaigns years ago are now having the same thing happen to them, but the stuff they're saying is actually like awful. It used to be, this person said something nice about Trump and they're like, we got to cancel them. We got to get them fired from their jobs. Now these people are like saying abhorrent, evil things about somebody's death. And if you said that to me and you worked for me, I'd fire you.
Yeah.
I don't care who you vote for or what you do in your personal life, but you're going to walk around saying stuff like that about somebody. I'm like, I don't think you have the character to work at this company anymore.
Yeah, man. That's what I've been saying. That social ostracism has been one-sided for too long. It's time to start taking snapshots, show it to your bosses, show it to your co-workers, show it to your classmates, to your school boards, and start utilizing your freedom of association.
Yeah, agreed.
That Cold War has been one-sided.
Yeah, it's been one. Well, again, it's a tactic that's been very useful for them to get what they want. And like I said, they took advantage of everybody's decency there because they knew that, well, they're not going to really react. They're kind of just going to, and to be fair, many people did, just bent over and took it. Like as these people were going industry to industry, destroying it, getting people out of there because they leaned a certain way. And you see the result of that. That's just all this stuff is. You have an industry now full of a bunch of just absolutely crazed people who have no issues whatsoever celebrating the death of a husband and a father, which to me right there just says a lot about you. That's not even crossing their mind, right? They don't care. And if it is, they just don't care, right? And that's, I don't know what other way to describe you than evil if aren't looking at the simple fact that this man, unfortunately, like those kids are going to have to be raised right by that mother, and they know that the death of their father, the brutal murder or assassination of their father, is videos that they have easy access to. I don't wish that upon anybody.
Nope.
I would never wish that upon anybody. I would never wish that upon anybody's children either. I don't care where they are slanted politically, but that's not the type of war that these guys are engaged in. They're dirty. They're dirty.
I think what also gets me is that these people don't see the irony in implying that, well, Charlie Kirk said a lot of hateful stuff, and so he essentially had it coming. So your solution to that would have been for him to shut his mouth and just agree with whatever you guys had to say. And you really have the nerve to call him a Yahtzee? Like, right. I just don't understand.
Special irony in that, is it not?
So the happenings of late, especially the three things I mentioned, like the shooting by that trans monster, to say the least, in that church, and the Ukrainian girl, and now Charlie, this changed something in me that I can perceive in a lot of other people as well. This
agreed.
This changed something. You know, that's all. That's how I can describe it. It changed something in me that I'm still reflecting upon, about how exactly that will impact my online presence and frankly, my personal life. But and I see that in a lot of people. Normal, like normies, not in the bad sense of the word. People who are not usually super into politics, but normies who never talk about that kind of stuff are starting to talk about it. And we're witnessing this phenomena, and I was just wondering about you guys' predictions about what's gonna happen now. What do you guys think will change, if at all, culturally, socially, politically? What are we expecting moving forward?
Man, I'll go first and try. I mean, it is hard to predict. I do think there is going to be at least some sort of awakening. I think that's the safest bet, or it has already been for a lot of people. People that were already kind of in our sphere that already get it. I think to your point, Dan, like they start to feel some kind of way. Maybe they went downstairs and immediately kissed their wives and their children, and you know, started to look, man, we're gonna get right with God. We're gonna do all these different things. I think that's kind of gonna be the reaction of those that are more so on this side of the aisle. As for the others, I think you have those in the middle, which I think are the only people that are likely to be swayed, like say this way, on these things. For them, and maybe it's cope. But I would hope that they see just how the type of people that they've either been supporting or acting as if are the good guys. And that sways them and causes them to at least act differently and approach, especially the political arena, far differently than what they had been in the past. And again, just to reiterate what I said earlier, I think a lot of that happens because this isn't a president. This isn't a senator. This was basically a civilian commentator. Not to say they weren't politically active. He absolutely was. Not to say that even TPUSA didn't participate in helping getting people elected. But you get what I'm saying. Like he wasn't like a senator or something like that at all. He's just, you know, a lot. He did his daily show. He did his, he did a show. He did. You know, he was going around campuses talking with people.
What he did is at our reach.
Yes, right there. It's what we essentially, a lot of us do, especially you know, with Gothix, and now, you know, she's in the commentary space and then she goes probably, like a lot of us do basically what he done. Maybe we haven't started the organizations that like a TPUSA, but you know, we're basically in that sphere, and they took him out, right? So that should be a wake up call for all of us in that way, and hopefully it sways the others. And that's not just the fact that he was, and it's not just the fact that he was assassinated. The video that people, you know, unfortunately have seen in that, but the reactions. If nothing else, I think that the reactions that people are having should be the wake up call for those types to be like, okay, maybe we're not siding with the good guys on this because they are.
Are we the baddies?
Yes, exactly. Hopefully that moment is what set. Maybe it's a little bit of cope, right? But I'm not referring to them like the actual authoritarian left. They are going to act how they act, and they're acting expectantly. But I'm hoping that person that likes to think of themselves not in that group can see that and understand, like, bro, this is what people have been talking about. and this is the side that you are insisting are the good guys, the unity guys, the we want positivity and equality and all these other buzz terms. That's who you're dealing with. You are dealing with people that ultimately, when they don't get their way and they see people being influential in this sphere, they want to take them out. And if someone does take it upon themselves to do so, they will dance on them. They will celebrate and even go as far. Like, I could not have imagined that even 10 years ago, that someone would get on social media and be like, either saying things like, being even more inflammatory, saying things like, you're next, this is a good thing, and all. Like, that shit, to me, I'm sorry, that's
real
not,
people, not bots, not anonymous,
not an anonymous account. A sock. These are people putting themselves on video, giggling and like schoolgirls and celebrating this. That I hope that will wake people up. So that's my prediction. I'll let X-Wing, you want to comment on that?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I agree with everything you just said. I know for sure for me, bath time with my daughter last night was different. It was heavy. It was very different. And, while I've only had my channel for, 3 years, whatever it is, 3.5 years at this point, but we've been fighting the fight on the culture side, and I think it's time for me, especially, to get louder. I think the most important message they were trying to send is to be silent. To silence them. You don't speak, and if you step out of line, this is what's going to happen to you. They keep reinforcing that with the celebrations that they're having on TikTok. You're next, you're next, you're next, talking about this stuff. So I think to honor Charlie, the most important thing is that we get a little louder. And I think not just in the messages we speak, I hope that more people do. Because the biggest advantage that they've had for so long is that they're louder. And companies listened because they were louder. There was, it seemed like they had a stronger message. And so, for me, I hope what this does is that it opens people's eyes. I was already in my faith, but it's stronger now than it's ever been. And most importantly, my resolve is stronger than it's ever been. God, that was a Palpatine line.
My resolve has never been stronger.
But
truly, I mean, I'm resolute right now. I'm absolutely resolute. And so I hope other people are feeling that same thing, and I believe that they are.
Yeah, we have to combine that passion with that newfound passion for many with rationality, because let me tell you what the left is praying for right now with all of their faith. And whatever the fuck they have faith on, they're praying to the devil, sacrificing goats and stuff, for a young conservative dude to do something stupid, go out there and do something stupid. They're praying for that with all of their faith.
Yep. Well, and one of the things that I talked about this a little bit last night, that they don't seem to understand because they're staunchly anti-gun and all of this other stuff, is that the reason that you don't see the people that have the most guns going around shooting the most people is because responsible gun ownership, you know how to do things. You going out and learning how to use a weapon and understanding the use of it as a tool and understanding the gun laws and gun safety and all that stuff makes you responsible. And so now you don't go around just using it. The people that are the most dangerous with those things are not the people that have taken time to practice with it and learn how to use it and know and understand it. It's people that grab it with no thought about other people around them. Those are the people that are dangerous. I used like an analogy of like martial arts. When you become a martial artist, it doesn't make you more of it makes you more of a dangerous person. But also, when they teach you in martial arts, they don't teach you to go out and fight people. They teach you should be trying to avoid fights at all costs. But if you do get into an altercation, here's what you can do to protect yourself and protect others. Now you have a tool that can be useful. And they don't understand that. They think, well, people that get guns want to shoot people. No, that's not what people do. The point is to protect other people and protect people around you from things that may happen. And so I think they desperately want somebody absolutely to go out and do something stupid and do something dangerous because that's what they think it'll justify to them everything that they've ever tried to say about conservatives or even moderates or anything. And it's not going to happen. It's never happened, and they try to use extreme examples, but even those extreme examples are immediately called out and immediately decried by our side going, that's stupid. We would never do anything like that, But the other side of it too is I think that this has emboldened a lot of people right now, and that's awesome because guess what? The reason we like free speech is because the people that are stupid and ignorant also utilize that free speech and say things like they're saying, and now we all know who the stupid ignorant people are, and they're not hiding. Yep, absolutely,
exactly.
And I think that I think the other side of it is what X-Wing said. I think this is going to embolden a lot of people to actually start speaking out again and say, you know what? If Charlie lost his life, then I think this is going to embolden 100 other people to go out there and start speaking and talking about things and sharing things and educating themselves and understanding how to educate other people around them. And I really do think that it'll be a positive example because like people that are not mentally ill and crazy learn good examples and then utilize those things to build on themselves and utilize other people's examples and tragedies to grow as human beings and grow as people, not the other way around where they use it to go further into their ideological boxes. I think this will encourage people to reach across the aisle too a little bit. So
yeah, for sure. It's like, congratulations, you fuckers created like 10 million more Charlie Kirks.
Yeah, I don't disagree. What you guys? What you think is going to happen on the other side of this?
I don't think what you were saying is a cope. I agree. I think a lot of centrist people are looking at their side, looking at their friends, and being like, "What the fuck is going on?" Mm-hmm. And I think we can definitely use that to our benefit. My fear is that people on the right are going to be so eager to take it to that next step. Like I feel like a lot of people are like ready, like I'm stocked up. Let's go. Let's start fighting. And I think that we'd be giving them what they want. So I think we can do something, but we got to be smart about it, because they are going to salivate over someone, as you said, doing something that's stupid because they already feel justified in their actions. Now, if you were to actually take it to that level, most definitely they don't care about nuance or, context. Now they really feel emboldened. So I think as terrible as this situation is, these tragedies have a tendency to get people to self-reflect and wake people up. I've always said like 2020, as chaotic as that was, that woke me up. That woke up a lot of people. I don't think these crazies understand that.
Yeah. And that's that again. I'm hoping that that's what happens. That you get these people that do have some level of like reflection, self-reflection, as well as again with the people around them, like understanding like what has been enabled through their politicians, again, entertainers, all of the institutions that people look to as like this sort of legitimate form of freaking information. Like if they say it, it's gospel, and what they have been authorizing, and even still, right now, you've seen people on with the mainstream media, like MSNBC just fired what's his face for saying that stupid shit. Yeah, doubted what he said yesterday, right? But like it's that's how I thought that's what I thought he believed anyway. It wasn't like it was news to me at all. But they are saying it out loud a lot and having that knee-jerk reaction and making those mistakes. I agree, is something that we should be able to utilize sort of to our advantage, because at the end of the day, it is a game of numbers, right? And I think the more people that understand what we're up against, that understand what the people that have declared that you are their enemy, I think it's very, very important that you understand what you're working with. You can't really combat a person or anything for that matter if you don't really truly understand it. You don't understand their tactics and such. They're dirty. This is the most blatant way. Like they will hit below the belt, right? They will take you out. They will take you out. And it sucks to see that happen to someone that some of us have interacted with in the past, and someone that was very influential. But it is a reality check nonetheless. And I hope people adhere to that and understand, like, look, man, you have to be a lot more mindful of what's going on around you, because you can't really afford to be in la la land. I think a lot of people were kind of just coasting there, hoping that, definitely some of these bigger streamers, like it's one of the one thing that annoys me about them is that it is an elephant in the room. And you'll see guys that will, if they choose to speak politically, it's only one side, right, that they will authorize, that they will say is like legitimate, right, that they will praise if they're going to say, even if they just are a variety streamer or RL streamer or their game or something like that. And I've been keeping tabs on some of the reactions of them, and you can tell how so many of them, like, they don't even know why they're supposed to dislike Charlie at all, but they know that, and I hope they do some self-reflection, that they know deep down this is all screwed up, but they also know that their audience is expecting them not to, like, I don't know, be in the dumps, down in the dumps on it, or like demonize it and say that this is a bad thing that shouldn't have happened.
Well, these people have made acceptance their God, essentially.
Yeah.
You know, I think with streamers in particular, me coming from Twitch, that platform is super progressive. And everyone knows you want to make it up on these leaderboards, you got to talk the talk, you got to repeat the talking points, because anything right of center gets villainized. Maybe not as much as before, but definitely back when I was still on the platform, you had to repeat all of the slogans. Otherwise, you're going to lose subscribers. You're going to lose your sponsors. And yeah, they've just made their acceptance and their platform into an idol of itself.
Yeah. But you put that beautifully. And like I said, hope there's some self-reflection, and definitely with those people that are more so in the center and just understand, like, damn, bro, these guys screwed up. These guys are really messed up in the head, and it's something that has to get addressed. Let me fly through some of these, because I know people have been commentating on everything that has been going. Hold on. Well, you got some you want to share, Dan?
Yeah. If you want to read some, whatever.
No, we can go right to it.
It's just a guy I stumbled upon on Instagram. I know nothing about this guy, but he brings up a great point. Shout out to Great Dane 469. I know nothing about him except that he looks like some sort of Russian folklore hero. But
he could be my cousin.
Listen to that. It's funny, man.
Ironic thing about the people who are celebrating what happened to Charlie Kirk is that they are the ones least prepared for and who will least enjoy where this is all going to lead. It's a phenomenon where the most bloodthirsty people in a given cohort are the ones who have the least exposure to violence, hardship, and death.
Right?
They feel comfortable celebrating because someone else did their dirty work for them, and for the time being, they are safe and secure. But realistically, what do they think this accomplished? What do they think is going to happen next? Because however evil they think Charlie Kirk was, there are people far more extreme that are going to take his place and radicalize his audience. Charlie Kirk was, in the realm of politics, a fairly moderate and, dare I say, milquetoast figure who put enough faith in discussion and logic to debate anyone who was willing to disagree with him from both sides of the spectrum. If anything, he was a moderating force who tried to navigate the polarized world of today with restraint. He was immensely mainstream and well-liked by people who by and large are normal, harmless, and well-to-do. He was no radically dangerous philosopher, warlord, terrorist, or politician. He was a regular guy who appealed to regular folk. Spilling his blood for speaking his opinion isn't going to win over or cow those regular folk. It is only going to make them more extreme and militant themselves. The caliber of person I see celebrating now is not prepared for the extreme and the militant. They aren't the communist warriors of Stalin, Mao, and Min who were willing and able to butcher and be butchered by the tens of thousands to see their goals through. The commenters lauding Kirk's passing are a horde of physically and mentally weak impotents, cheering for a victory they had no part in, like a crowd in a stadium. Will they be cheering when they're forced to play on a field, when the blood is not on a screen but on their hands, or when they are the ones whose blood must be spilt? I don't think so. The ironic...
Yeah. So I have no idea what this guy's politics are, but I just thought this point was funny. Like, the people who are celebrating this have no idea what they're conjuring. Have no idea what they're conjuring upon themselves, and they're not prepared for it.
Yeah, not wrong. Not wrong.
There's certainly parallels in history of, like, people, throwing rocks and sticks at other people that have missiles and tanks and that not going well for them, you know. Like that's the thing. Like typically you're dealing with, okay, if the people on the other side that do have money and influence and power and are as fascist and as dangerous as you say and have all the resources to do all these things that these horrible things you keep accusing them, like what happens when they just start doing it?
Well,
The chat's saying that's X-Wing's cousin.
Yeah. You know, but once again, you know, most people don't want to do that. Most people have considered the cost of like what that's going to look like to actually do that and don't want to, you know.
Yeah. You've heard the quote, "There's nothing more dangerous than a man with nothing left to lose."
Yeah.
My favorite one is the one from Jeff Fry. "There's nothing more dangerous than a person who wants to be left alone but is forced to get involved."
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's been the case for a while, is that they've been attempting to or trying to force the hand of everybody, you know what I mean, and engage. And this is why, you know, I keep saying that though you might not consider them your enemy, it's, as unfortunate as it may be, they consider you theirs. And you're not really helping yourself by pretending like that isn't the case, and understanding what you're up against. And it's just what the point I've been making, even with fellow libertarians. They lump us all in the same group, right? Like it's the same. They don't. Yes, are there fundamental differences between like even myself and like Charlie Kirk? For sure. To them, it's the same. Like
oh yeah,
yes.
To them,
to them you're worse.
Yeah, I'm probably worse.
To them, you're much worse than Charlie Kirk. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to be that polite to those people like Charlie was, man.
I agree.
The dude was, oh man,
it
was a gentleman. He was very, very stoic. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
about those people.
You're totally right though, because these people, they equate words with violence, and so then it dilutes the meaning of violence, and they would be the least prepared for any form of retaliation. And then these are the people that are saying, "Oh yeah, take away the Second Amendment." I'm like, are you stupid? You know, they have no understanding of human nature at all, and it shows in their ideas and their actions. It's crazy.
Some broomstick arm motherfucker like kill them all. What's that, X-Wing?
Gays for Palestine is the funniest thing
I've
ever seen.
Oh my god!
You jumbo shrimp.
Like,
oh man, it's pretty bad.
Jews
but I
for
mean,
Yahtzees.
That's the other thing too. I mean, that Gothix said, like the whole attitude of words are violence. That when you blur that, then you can justify just about anything and justify an attitude about anything. But the reality is, like, no, violence is violence. And when that actually does happen, then most of those people will be sitting there shocked and stunned and wondering why they're being attacked or why they're being injured. I mean, you see it online just with words. Like how many times Rip has done it. We've all experienced it. Some person will come online and say all kinds of horrible stuff to you, and the second you respond back to them, like, why are you attacking me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'm a nobody. Why are you attacking me? I don't understand.
Do that. Why would you stoop to this? Like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be better than me. It's like, what?
You're supposed to be better than me.
Yeah. So what happens when that person actually, like, I don't know, hits you in the face, and then all of a sudden it's not funny anymore, you know? Like, yeah.
Yep. Typical cry bullies, man. All right, let me fly through these because I know some are on the topic that I know we can expand upon. Cheryl, too much. Appreciate that. Is praying for peace and love. Too much hate out there. I feel you on that. Demi says with a 10 says, my thoughts and prayers are with Erica and the children. GB with them.
Yeah, man.
Keep them safe. Yeah, like I said, I hate it for them, man. That I don't wish that upon anybody to have to see that and then have to experience that. Like
they were there.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like that I just couldn't imagine what they're going through right now. Anjanette with 35 Czar says, to the family of Charlie Kirk and my American friends, my heartfelt prayers and condolences are with you at this time. The world mourns a great man. Thank you so much for that. Gabriel Valentine on the Fox yesterday, I made some stupid jokes on X-Wings and Beardo's golf stream, and they laughed a little. The laughter helped me decompress and deal. Awesome.
Shout out, Gabriel.
Awesome.
Great shit, man.
Love to hear that.
Stuff.
Love to hear that. Eberg with a 10 says, please stop the blame game. Remember, Democrat Emerita Melissa Horman and her husband were killed in June. It is more important to work together to stop the violence. Well, this is the thing. And I have to interject and even disagree just a little bit. again, while I agree that obviously this whole violence and you wanted it to be stopped, I don't think anybody disagrees with you there. But I don't think that we can actually stop it and address it properly if we're being delusional and trying to act as if, especially in the political sense, like the violence is equal. I don't think anybody's helping this situation by doing that. And that's not to even say that this is a quote unquote left-right issue. I'm specifically referring to the people that are either okay with or want to carry this out. It is a specific demographic. It is a specific type of people that adhere to a specific type of ideology. We're not helping ourselves in addressing it by acting like that component is completely removed from it. It's not. It is not. It's the absolute truth. So it's not like same size kind of situation. Like it's not. We know where it's coming from. We have to identify it. If you want to refer to maybe a time to where there is an exception, that there is an exception. But by and large, in today's day and age, if you want to talk about political violence, it is not coming from the other side in the equal way that it is on the other. That's just not. We're not being honest there in saying that. That's what people will lead us to believe, because it is a way to kind of misdirect. But as far as truthfully speaking, no, that's not the case. That's never not been the case.
I agree with Ripa, and let's put on a more day-to-day example here. Let's say you're choosing your new neighborhood. You're choosing a new place to live, and you have two options of two houses you can afford in two different neighborhoods. And one neighborhood, you had like 100 murders in the past year. In the other neighborhood, you had 3. And once you choose you express your desire to live on the neighborhood with the least murders, like someone comes to you and say, well, but there's murders on both neighborhoods. Like, yeah,
sure,
there are. But it's like, you're being dishonest at this point by bringing this up. It's not even, that's not even an honest comparison. I'm not calling this specific person who's super chatted dishonest.
Right,
but you know what? You know what I mean. It's a disingenuous argument to bring up, like, I want to live on the neighborhood with the least murders. Whoa, but there's murders there too, you know?
No.
So, we need to. We need to
gotta be honest
analyze
the
whole
it.
figure.
Yeah, we got to be honest about it. We can't. Again, I think especially with something like this, you're dealing with a lot of people's lives. I don't think it's anything. If you really want to get to the root of the problem, I don't think we're helping anybody out. They're not helping ourselves out. We're not helping this country. We're not helping the West. We're not helping the world out by acting as if that component isn't the case. Sure, there are people on a X side that may do weird thing, but to act like it's equal is, to your point, disingenuous. It's just it's just very disingenuous. And also, if I'm not mistaken, this wasn't again, I might have to look into this case again as far as this one thing, but I don't think it was even a case of the quote unquote like some extremist right winger went to go off these people. I don't think that was even the case.
Didn't he work for Tim Walz?
Yeah, I thought he worked with Tim Walz or something like that. So I don't think that was what we were dealing with.
I remember that story.
Yeah, it's not equal. It's not equal is what we're trying to say. Josh Kelso with a 10 says, I mean, these freaks have been normalizing celebrating people they don't like dying for years. Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, we've seen this with Rush Limbaugh. We've seen this with some other people and commentators that have passed over the years and how they really felt, especially during the COVID era. You see how they felt about you, and it's you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I do think because of just how prominent of a figure that Charlie was and how influential it hits a lot different. And like I said, just to see the sheer immediately, right? This just happened yesterday, right? But to see immediately TikTokers celebrating is something that is, yeah, it really gets to me, man. Like I'm like,
it changes you, man. It changes you.
Yeah, it's screwed up. It's really screwed up. Kingdom of Comics, excuse us, my homie says, I am raging, man. Not that this is unexpected from psychotic and human leftists, but when the hell is our country going to understand that they are at war with us? Well, that's the truth. Like I said, you might not be at war with them, but they have declared it on you long ago. I've been saying this for a long time. Sorry, had to vent a little. And look, I empathize with everybody out there that wants to avoid. They want to just go about their lives, work, come home to their families, repeat. I can understand that person. I can understand the wanting to avoid any conflict. Naturally, there's a lot of like the people that, especially in the middle, like they're just normal people. They don't care about that. But like I said, if we're to find a solution and to save as many lives, they're saving as many lives as we can, we have to be honest about it. And part of that harsh reality is understanding that there is a significant amount of people that because you share a political opinion that they deem as abhorrent, their solution to that isn't to try to dispute you out of it, present their case. No, their solution to that is to eliminate you. And there's a significant amount of people that are perfectly fine with that. And that can be a hard pill to swallow for someone that is more of an idealist and you're like, you want positivity, you want the world to be a better place. You just got to understand the reality of the situation. And maybe, again, maybe a cope, but I'm hoping that people now, that's the wake-up call for some of those that had been in La La Land, just going about life as if, you know, all is good and not understanding that there's a significant group of people that, significant amount of people that are part of a group that just wants you out of there. They just really don't like you. And they don't like, it's not, dislike of it isn't even enough. I don't even like how people talk about the political stuff. Like we were just talking about this earlier today. Like people know, like when I think I said it earlier in the show on today's stream, the one time that I can remember publicly, I think it might have been the only time, but the one time that I can remember publicly or myself being, it wasn't even at odds, it was just disagreeing with Charlie, was because it was on the thing that Ivanka was pushing with the whole paid family leave, the federally mandated paid leave. And I was like, this is a socialistic policy that would have been 5 years ago, something that we would have never even thought to be associated with this party. What like compromising is doesn't help anybody.
Was that at the Blaze?
I did at Blaze, yeah. I know I did several videos on it as well. But you had people that were like, well, he hated Charlie Kirk. And I was like, that's how you took that. But I'm having to constantly remind myself, this is what politics has become for some people. And that's how they digest that information. Like the people that we're dealing with, that's how they digest it. It's not just, yes, words of violence to them, but disagreement is a problem. Like you are not someone to be swayed or rather convinced even out of your position. You are an obstacle to be eliminated. Like that they want you out of the way. And these are the types of people that you're dealing with. So because politics has made people so crazy, they will take something like that, which is a mere disagreement, as exactly that. Like he must hate said person or thing or whatever. And I'm like, no, this is actually why I hate politics, because it makes you think like that. It makes you fucking crazy.
Well, and also the thing is too, like now all of a sudden the position of like, okay, well, you didn't agree with this person, so that means you hate this person. You go, no. And then the other side of it is like, you're not walking around saying, Charlie was my best friend, we hung out all the time, and you're not being disingenuous. You're saying, yo, he was a good dude, and it's tragic that he's gone. They're like, yeah, but you disagreed with him, so like obviously you despised everything about him. And you're like, no,
crazy. But that's the world that we, I might have to constantly remind myself, or that rather is the reminder that how, especially in recent years, how politics has just screwed people up. Yeah, like it screwed people up to that degree, to where someone says something that they disagree, and maybe it's a little bit of a projection, right? They assume that I have that position because if someone disagrees with them, they hate them. Like that's their position on a thing. And it's like, I don't approach politics like that. In fact, the reason why I adopt the political philosophy that I adopt is because I absolutely hate politics, because I see how it makes people. It makes people crazy. It makes it also, in that of itself, it attracts some of the most evil sons of bitches, for lack of better terms, over the course of human history. That's just the reality of politics. That's why I hate it so much. So it is unfortunate, the world that we live in, man.
I was going to say, I think a lot of it too is because these people, their life revolves around the pursuit of feelings. Like everything that they do is based on whether or not something feels good. And obviously, if you disagree with someone and you criticize someone's life or actions or whatever, well, it doesn't feel good. So you must hate me. You know, it's like anytime you criticize anything close to like the Wi-Fi password community, you hate them.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, man.
And
it's participation metal culture, man. Participation metal
culture. The biggest part of it too is that it's repetition. Like we said, for 10 years, there has been this repeated message that this is a threat. These people are a threat. Half the country is trying to tear the country down. You're a threat to democracy. And the dehumanization of an entire, population of people. And if you beat that into somebody's head long enough, what are they going to believe?
Yeah, especially young people. Like, what else are they going to come out thinking? You know what I mean? When you have pretended or at least presented at that all of these people are just sheerly evil. I don't know, for one, private property rights and traditional family values. Like, you know what I mean? Like that is the biggest threat to them that they see. And they are, I think what we're seeing now, what's developing with this whole Charlie Kirk assassination is just how serious that they are as far as their feelings. You got to take them, you really don't want to take their words at kind of at face value when they say something like they hate you or just you're like, you're just a little young dude going through some things. But then you see these videos and you're like, wow, these people are they got something going on upstairs. Like anybody like that's that heartless that will like record themselves. I mean, set it up, record it, and there's no self-reflection during that period of time because all of us upload videos. There's a process there, right? It's not like, hey, record video is up. No, you set up the camera, you edited that video, then you posted it.
There's a bunch of opportunities to not post the video,
it's a bunch of opportunities before that ever sees the light of day, before the public ever sees it. You have a lot of time to say, well, maybe I shouldn't do that. And that didn't happen, or if it did happen, they were like, yeah, I really want to do it. So like these folks are something else, if nothing else. Mr. Zay, appreciate you becoming a member. We have Chris B, what if I said, not even a fan of Charlie Kirk, really. And for me, all this event has done is radicalized me. It took away my desire for further restraint. Well, look, I'm not telling people to be stupid. It's just that like you do at least need to operate with some sort of rationale. You know what I mean? Like, don't go doing anything dumb. But also, again, it's important that you need to know what you're up against, right? And understand that you cannot handle this enemy or these people that have declared you to be their enemy. You can't handle them like you would handle yourself. Like you're in an argument or a debate or a dispute or a conflict with someone that shares the same values as you. That's a mistake. Like I said, that's actually a death trap if you do that. So you do want to don't want to be stupid, but you do want to be mindful and aware that you're dealing with a bunch of crazy lunatics that want you dead. And you can't not acknowledge that.
Passion and emotion are not dirty words.
Right.
Use that newfound passion rationally, and that is super powerful. Rationally directing your emotions, rationally using them as fuel to the actions that rationally are needed.
Yep. Barbecue Pit says with a 10 says you're right, Ripper. It's demonic. People are demon possessed. Ephesians 6:12. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness. Yeah, I mean, that's what we're up against. And that's really the only way to describe some of the silliness that we are unfortunately dealing with. Okay, what else we got? We have scroll too far. Just some space cowboy with a 5. They think Charlie was extreme. They have no idea what's going to happen after they murdered him. Well, I think that's been the craziest part of it, or one of the crazier things about this is like there are folks out there that talk about when you hear these people that are, for example, celebrating, the way they talk about Charlie is it's just insane to me because he is one of the more moderate people. Like he is not that rough around on the edges or is in your face or
Bro, he's the average Christian.
Yeah.
He's completely.
Well, they hate
the
Christians.
Well, that's,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Exactly.
right.
That's not wrong. So, yeah, it's far more, again, rougher around the edges than what Charlie Kirk is, and they still think he's extreme. So imagine what they think about you. Free man die free says with a 10. It's important to understand the elites have pushed, which includes Five Eyes, bankers, WEF, pushed the radical trans stuff because as the WEF stated, we can hack human beings. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously there are people that have interest to see this sort of chaotic landscape that we have, and they're going to take, advantage of that. And the role that they play. I don't think anybody here believes that they're absolved. The last Boy Scout, appreciate that, becoming a member here. We have Albatross with a 5. I doubt I'll ever identify with the right, but I've seen the left defend so much bad behavior that I can't live with this level of hypocrisy anymore. Well, again, I think that in and of itself, right? Just take a look at that. You understand what you are dealing with now because you've seen the type of bad behavior that they defend. But even if they get wind of that, like that, those are your feelings, they're going to lump you in with the quote unquote right. Because what does that even mean to them? Right? Like what does right wing or any of that stuff even mean to when it's coming from them? When they're the ones levying it at it, that's everybody under the sun. Like I said, everybody, well, that's right of Bernie Sanders under the sun. So they're going to lump you in with them anyway. But yeah, you've probably over the last 24 hours have seen them justify some crazy things and even advocate for more of it being done. So yeah, I don't see how anybody that either floats in the center or is aligned with them or think of themselves to be aligned with them can at least you have to learn from that. At minimum, I would hope. Maybe I'm coping, but I would hope people take that information and start acting accordingly, man. Let's see. We have Mr. Zabel the 5 says the question is, will colleges be brave enough to still allow speakers like Charlie to be?
That's a good question.
Hosted. Well, Gothix, have you think it has? I mean, it's only been 24 hours. Mm-hmm. But do you think that that's going to be any sort of conflict there that colleges, maybe some of the organizations that bring you from the colleges that there are going to have some issues like bringing folks on now?
I honestly don't know. I can see them using this event as justification to say no for safety purposes. But like anytime we've gone to college campuses, it's always been a hassle. Like we've been shut down. Oh, you don't have the right permits, even though we spoke to the right people. So I'm really not sure, but I can definitely see them using that as an excuse.
I thought it was so funny when Jordan Peterson was asked, what did he do to stop having people protesting on his college?
Start having it in the morning or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Start having it in the morning. That was it, and he solved it.
All right, we have I got drunk 3PO. Shout out to you. We got Dan Reader with a 20 says I was in the Army Special Ops, says people don't know what it's like to live in a country that is tearing itself apart. There are numerous examples if they would only look. Yeah, there's plenty of them, especially if you want to throw Marxism in the mix. There's no shortage of countries that they have completely destabilized in adopting that ideology, that political philosophy, if you want to call it that. Just a Space Cowboy with a 10. Talking with a few Marxists yesterday, they believe that the right started this and their actions are retaliatory, and they want this trend to continue. Small sample size, though. Well, no, I've seen a lot of that as well from Marxists. Like Marxists have been looking and itching for a good reason to do bad shit. I mean, that's just how they are, unfortunately. And yeah, they do look for ways to justify their bad behavior. It's like that when you talk about some crazed lunatic that kills some people or what have you. You notice that they will never just be like, all right, this individual is bad and they committed murder or something like that. They start talking about how basically other people made them that way. The socioeconomic, environment, all this other stupid shit to try to justify why they did something, because they want to be absolved or really have all responsibility sort of removed from that. But also thinking that, well, if someone does that said bad thing, it had to be someone else's fault, and we need to look at them. They're the ones to blame. So basically saying that this person that goes and kills this innocent person is like, it's on us. We did it. It's on
the victim.
Yeah, well, they're somehow the victim, which is, I mean, look, man, you have to have a freaking chalkboard the size of this entire wall to try to make that shit make sense. But that's how they are. That's exactly how they are. They try to make sense or justify bad behavior. Unfortunately,
all of the stuff that goes on every time something like that happens, like when Trump was shot. He was really inflammatory, and Charlie Kirk, he's really inflammatory and stuff. This is the equivalent of like a girl is raped. It's because she was wearing a mini skirt and that sort of stuff. She was asking for it. That's the exact same argument.
Yeah,
it's the exact same logic.
Yeah. So I'm gonna share it. Do you mind pulling that up real quick, Dan? There's a video that Gothix shared. I want to watch. It's maybe a white pill. It goes some of what we were saying.
Let's see.
Here, and pull it up real quick. It's in the private chat in the stream.
Yeah. I'm gonna share.
I believe in you, Dan. I think
he says
I can do it. I can do it. Because that thing's
there it
ugly.
All right. Maybe a white pill here. Yeah, let's listen in.
Jesus.
So far, I've seen videos of just the left being pro-unaliving political opponents, whether that be Trump, J.D. Vance, people celebrating what happened to Charlie Kirk today. It's just disgusting behavior. The fact that I have been a part of the left for 7 years, I never thought we'd get to the point where I would have to look at my own party and be like, oh, hold on, I can't support you anymore.
Just real quick, I check what is that person is beautiful. Never mind.
Because everything that you are doing right now is against your political viewpoints and your values and beliefs. To sit here and promote gun violence against your opponents is wrong. And it arguably makes you worse than the other side, because you're basically saying these people deserve to be unalived because our political beliefs are more important and should stand and should have more value than a human life. Ooh. Yeah, that doesn't sit right with me at all. No. So far.
All right, I like that. All right, so that's
good on that person, man.
Self-reflection.
Yeah,
that's what I'm hoping. So
first
maybe I
time.
wasn't coping. Maybe I wasn't coping earlier when I said that. I hope this is like at least those that are in that position, kind of that's their reaction to understand. Like, holy crap, the people that I have been surrounding myself with, these people I've been on these political, I don't want to say crusades, but whatever we've been out in political warfare, participating in political warfare with. They are crazy.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that was what they were thinking. And I'm hoping there's people that have made, they've come to that conclusion, and maybe it wasn't Cope.
There's some sincere people out there.
Yeah.
Beautiful bald head, beautiful legs, beautiful. I don't know what this is, boy or girl, but it's.
I mean, we saw what was it, Jeffree Star, when Jeffree Star's out here saying, "Yo,
I did see that video
too far." That's pretty wild. Or you got Ethan Klein, tearing up and realizing, like this is, and
really?
The thing is,
I didn't see that.
Yeah, Ethan got really upset about it. And once again, too, like with somebody like Ethan, like he was warned, like Jordan Peterson told him, like, yo, bro, you're gonna end up real alone in this space if you actually want to have real discourse and real conversations with people and stuff. And now he's seeing it, because he's seeing the people around him that he thought were the sane ones. Saying some of the most crazy stuff, and he's like, "Oh my gosh! Like I just can't believe it. I can't believe anybody would act like this in a time like this."
Ethan Klein used to be such a normal-headed guy. He used to be so well-spoken against that sort of stuff, man. And that would be, man, if he came around, that would be beautiful.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like everybody, the conversation a lot of times, or what they act like, is that we're just trying to recruit people to become like conservatives and stuff. I don't care what you know. You don't have to become a conservative. You don't have to be right leaning. It's just like, I just have some sense, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's all anybody's ever asked for. Like,
right.
you know, and once again, as it's been proven many times before, like typically conservative leaning people are willing to reach across the aisle a lot more and have a lot more discussions and stuff like that. So you go like, okay, the group that's more prone to be in echo chambers and in bubbles, creating their own apps where they can talk to each other however they want to talk to each other, pretend like they're the most open-minded people. And you go, no, that's not how that works. You actually got to talk to other people. So
a lot of people have to learn the hard way. I mean, like they have to unfortunately go through like what Gothix had gone through, what I went through in the early 2010s. Definitely in the music industry when I started speaking out. Oh man, I had to deal with a lot of like people around me that I thought was cool. Like basically, you know, called me the worst names possible. So like, wow, like I've been surrounding myself with this. You know what I mean? With this type of line of thinking, man, and it's a wake-up call. Rather, it should be a wake-up call for so many people. Because look, a lot of folks have gotten by on just straight up delusion, just being completely honest, like straight up delusion, trying to see the world for what they want it to be, not for what it is, and they want to believe. Because I know people don't think I am. I'm a rather empathetic person. I can understand why someone doesn't want to face that reality, right? Right? But I can understand why someone doesn't want to face it, because that can completely upend your world. When you have to finally come to terms with the fact that even maybe family members have been wrong. You know what I mean? Your upbringing even maybe was completely incorrect. I can understand and empathize with someone that doesn't want to face that, you know, reality, but it's something that you absolutely must face. Dan, you got some here?
Yeah. So, did you guys see that the official Charlie Kirk account just posted this? Someone who speaks English want to read it?
Not you,
Mike. You want to read that?
No,
people make fun of my accent. That's too
okay.
long.
Can you blow it up a little bit? Are you capable of that? There you go.
Wait.
Oh, jeez, Dan. Can somebody that can operate the internet also pull that up?
It doesn't work.
Hold on, let me find it real quick.
It's not working. Yeah,
is it on his Instagram?
It's on Charlie Kirk's.
It's on Twitter.
It's on Charlie Kirk's official Twitter.
Okay, let me pull it up real quick here. Jeez,
professional YouTuber, very successful.
Yeah, very successful. Very good YouTuber. One of the best.
The norm of how
one
I
of the
operate.
best, in fact.
Okay, here we go.
The best singer.
Every one of us at Turning Point USA is crushed and devastated by the hateful murder of our founder and guiding light, Charlie Kirk. All of us have lost a leader, a mentor, and a friend. Above all, our hearts are with Erica and their 2 children. Charlie was the ideal husband and the perfect father. Above all else, we ask you to pray for the Kirks after the incomprehensible loss they have suffered. More than anyone, Charlie believed in the power of argument and good faith debate to find the truth and guide people towards, if not agreement, then at least mutual understanding. Charlie was no stranger to threats. He received thousands throughout his life, but he always prioritized reaching as many young Americans as possible over his own personal safety. Now, Charlie has become America's greatest martyr to the freedom of speech he so adored. In his 31 years, Charlie lived more than any of us will in 100. He had an overwhelming passion for life and a deep belief in his power as an individual to make a difference. With the spirit of a pioneer, Charlie launched Turning Point out of his parents' garage as an 18-year-old with no money, no name recognition, only a dream. His energy and drive were awe-inspiring, without equal, and deeply infectious. Charlie refused to squander a single day of his life. He was a natural builder and problem solver who loved a challenge and saw every setback as a chance to learn, grow, pray, and try again. He's fundamentally decent, always eager to make new friends and allies, and to support and defend the ones he had already made. His values were timeless, American ones. Honest, forthright duty, loyalty, and fair play.
Yeah, and we have he ended with Charlie loved America, its people, its constitution, its freedom, and the limitless good all of them have done for the world. But above all, Charlie lived every day with an overflowing love of the Christ he knew he would one day get to see. When asked, Charlie said that above all, he wished to be remembered for his faith far more than any political victory. Charlie wanted to see a spiritual revival among America's youth. He wanted a nation of happy, thriving families who loved God and each other. At his final public speech just days before his murder, Charlie witnessed to Christ to an audience of non-believers. Even in his very last moments, Charlie was professing the gospel. He ran his race well all the way to the end. Now he goes to his heavenly reward. Although Charlie's gone, his legacy will endure. He shall not grow old. Age shall not weary him. For all time, he will remain the brave young man who inspired tens of millions of Americans to better themselves and take action to better America. All of us will miss Charlie. None of us will ever forget him. It talks about turning point, front action, and the Charlie Kirk show. Well, I'm glad that they were able to get this posted. You guys go see this. This is on Charlie Kirk's Twitter. I don't know if he also posted it. They also posted it on his IG. You have an awesome picture there. And like it's kind of crazy to think about like how, young he was. He got all that. He accomplished all of that.
31, man.
At 31, you know what I mean?
I really think he was going to be president someday.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that. People say that.
Yeah, he was for sure on that trajectory. Because it's funny because when I first met him, like I said, it was I was in my mid-20s, and he was bursting on the scene as well. And like he was, I thought I was the young cat, and I was like, nah, look at this dude. You know what I mean? Like this dude, he's doing crazy things at his age, man. And like it's awesome. It was awesome to see. Definitely how prominent and like I know I have as well. Gothix done events and stuff with Turning Point over the years, at least in some capacity. And it's cool what he's built. Most importantly for the universities, which we know is a lot of brain rot there. And they at least have someone there, whether it be with there's others, there's Students of Liberty and others that have tried to fight the good fight. But for him to be able to create this in that short period of time and for it to become as impactful as it had and as far reaching as it had culturally is it's going to be hard for anybody to ever replicate that. And it's awesome that at least people are going to take that and continue running with it, though Charlie unfortunately is no longer with us. So yeah, prayers, like I said, to the family. I don't wish that upon anybody.
That's
at all.
Crazy to imagine.
People that consider me their enemy, people that don't like me, I would never advocate or anticipate that something like that would happen to you. And it just really sucks, man. And I think that's what I hope people learn from out of these reactions is that when stuff happens to folks that we may not agree with, none of us have that reaction. We're not thinking of freaking holding up, doing videos and start to you're effectively dancing on their dead bodies. Like we don't do that. That's not how it's decency, right? We at least have that. And it's the one side that does seem to operate with at least some kind of decency. And that's what's been completely lost among these types. Like they don't care. They're like, it's not something that was a value that they ever had, like they ever were raised. Like I could not have imagined. And maybe what the X-Wings was saying earlier in the stream, like maybe that was the case. Maybe it was always that way, and social media just amplified it, put a really just gave it a microphone. But man, it's just sucks to see that there are folks that are out there like that are celebrating the fact that a husband and a father was killed by some dickhead, for lack of better terms. I'm sure that story is still developed as far as the FBI and who they're capturing and all that stuff.
For sure.
I don't have any updates on that. I know they had a couple of guys that they had, like the first guy, people thought it was him. They already released him, the older white cat. And then they had another that they ended up releasing like at some point last night, a subject.
Yeah.
They ended up releasing again. So
they're looking for one other guy as well.
Okay. Yeah, and I saw they put that.
Was it Crowder shared a leak or something like that? You guys?
Well, yeah, it was something about, and again, I don't know how valid that is because I've seen like even when the FBI they talked about it, trust them for whatever way that you may. They haven't the main part, especially like the trans ideological part of it. I haven't seen that confirmed, but some of the other things that little memo or whatever you want to call it that Crowder had got a hold of. They were affirming that. So I don't know if they're like, again, so you got to take that with a grain of salt. Is it true? Is the rest of that true? Because in that memo, they basically said the same thing. I don't know. But yeah, it's interesting to say the least.
It's interesting for sure.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We have hold on. Read that. Appreciate the gifted 5 from Guadalupe Gaming. Appreciate that. Nice shirt that you're rocking right there in that profile picture.
I have that one.
Nice. Yeah. Shout out to you, Guadalupe Gaming. Appreciate that, homie. We have Chris B with a 5. They want us all to calm down and dial it back now. No, we'll calm down after they've had a taste of arms restraint and industrialized, brutality. Well, I think you can be like, you could still be calculated. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think anybody should do something stupid, like I said before. And I don't think that you should not be angry. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you shouldn't feel that way. I think we all are like frustrated. It's just that how you choose to package that is going to be very, very vital. Because
use that. Don't let that control you.
Exactly.
You are the one at the wheel. Use that to rational purposes.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I said this last night too. Like, I mean, anger is a secondary emotion, and so being able to process that anger can be useful in pursuing action. It's a thing that drives you to say, hey, a thing happened to me that I don't want to have happen again, and how can I prevent that from happening? But just lashing out at whatever you see in front of you isn't the healthy way to do it. It's like anger has a use if you know how to temper it and put it towards the right things, whether it's, being more vocal on social media, or whether it's, heck, even sometimes like donating to causes, or whatever the thing is that you are driven to do. But the last thing that you want to do is go out and attack people or hurt somebody or try to start a conflict with somebody because you're angry, because that doesn't really solve anything, and a lot of times just proves the other people right, like they want it to be proven right. They want you to lash out and be angry, because then they can say, hey, look at this person, see how unhinged these people are. This just justifies everything to me. And I said this last night, and I don't speak for him, but I would say that being a Christian as well, I think the last thing that Charlie would be thinking about right now is retaliation.
For sure.
I don't think that that's at all what he would be thinking. I think he, not being in the presence of the Lord would understand forgiveness and mercy and grace more than anybody else. And that doesn't mean we don't want justice here on earth for the things that happen, because I think that should also be done, and justice needs to be served, and his family needs justice done for them. But it also means, thinking about things rationally and putting that anger to be productive instead of just wildly throwing it around at anything you can. So
there's still a big part of me that wants to be the monster that they're calling me.
Yeah, man. And it's like, don't let people gaslight you out of that.
Yeah.
Be rational, be smart, don't do stupid things that are counterproductive, but don't let people gaslight you out of that anger. Don't let people gaslight you out of hate. The whole anti-hate rhetoric is so childishly stupid, because hate is an involuntary human reaction to perceived evil, to perceived lack of virtue. That's all that hate is. It's something that was designed, as Mike said, to drive you to action or inaction in some cases, to not do certain stuff as well. So if you reject that, you're rejecting your own humanity, because that's a human thing. Hate is a human thing, and it can be virtuous.
Yeah, there you go. Perfectly put. Weirdos are trying to use the ironic angle to justify heinous act because Charlie advocated for gun rights. Well, like I say, these are very dishonest, disingenuous people. Okay.
Yep.
Like, of course, there isn't even really, there's no irony there at all. They're just pretending that it is for the sake of their own shithole argument. That's just how these folks are. So it's like, because he advocated for gun rights, he should be off. Like, there's no irony in that. That's just fucking stupid. Like, at the end of the day. But again, we're not talking about rational. It's funny, we're just talking about us being rational and everything. I think the parties that we're dealing with, unfortunately, are not. They use their emotions for to justify maybe what they want to do to you and how they're feeling, right? But these aren't good people at all. But yeah, they will try to justify heinous acts that suck because reasons. Like they don't need it. They'll look for the reason. Like even if it wasn't that, it would have been something else.
And it's like with Bolsonaro here in Brazil in 2018, he wasn't shot. He was stabbed. So you take away guns, people will still find a way.
Yeah.
To do what they want to do. So don't give me that bullshit. How ironic. Yeah, Bolsonaro was stabbed. So what? What now?
Exactly.
You gonna ban kitchen knives?
Yeah, ban kitchens.
Well, I mean, if you look at the UK right now, that's the same thing about.
Dude.
What if we get rid of all pointy objects? You're like, what?
Look at Marvin Heemeyer, dude. He took construction equipment, tore a town down. Like they'll figure out a way to get it done. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. Bare hands.
Kill Gannon with a 5.
Wearing padded gloves. They're like, what if everybody had padded gloves on all the time? They would never hit each other.
Just cut off their hands.
Says when you tear out a man's tongue, you're not proving him a liar. You're only telling the world that you fear what he might say, as the old saying goes.
Isn't that Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
I think so.
Cooks with a 5 says, Dan, why are you still worried about maintaining the higher ground when it comes to these demons?
Depends what you consider higher ground.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't have to act like a savage to combat them. I just have to know that that's a savage, that's a brute, and I have to act accordingly, especially in the when it comes to self-preservation. So, look, I do, but yes, we're the moral people. We're better than them. We're not the ones freaking celebrating someone being murdered. That's again, people that have, look at more objective reality as morality. Then that's how we feel. So I don't think that's more so what Dan is saying when he's like telling you to be rational.
Not at all. I even think I think I'm too extreme sometimes. I'll be very curious to know Kooks84 what I said that led you to think that, because that's the opposite of what I think.
Yeah. We have Muffalo with a 5. What is depressing is this. What should be obvious in terms of right or wrong gets muddied in an echo chamber. I see that a lot. Well, yeah, I mean, that's most of this. With them, what's left is right, right is left. That's just how they view the world. It's fucked up. I don't know what other way to put that. It is screwed up. They don't know. Well, it's not just stupidity. That's dangerous. It's emotional stupidity, which is of the utmost dangerous types of people that you're dealing with, where you got folks that are irrational, and they act like low impulse control. They act like that. That's all that is. Like when someone that's low impulse control. When you have someone that sees someone get murdered, and their first instinct is to freaking record a video and get it posted online of them celebrating. Right, like this is a person that doesn't understand what's right or wrong, thinks wrong is right. Right, this is the type of folks that you're dealing with, and I'm sure that the people that are around them that they converse with daily, especially on the political topics, feel the same way. That's the only reason they feel comfortable in posting that. Because to me, like the fact that self-reflection never happened, like we just discussed, it takes a lot to get a video up. It's easy, but you get what I'm saying. There's a lot of
it's not something you do on a whim,
right? And that never happens, or they still think that in doing so they're justified. Either way, they don't think like we do. You know what I mean? Those are not the set of ethics that they have, and I guess maybe the echo chamber is also a part of this. But on the other hand, like we saw with that video, I'm hoping people that have been surrounded by this nonsense looks at whatever the fuck you want to call this craziness and has that self-reflection like, wow, I am surrounded by the bad people. Didn't think I was. Thought that we were the good guys, but I don't think we're the good guys, right? Because then now the good guys that I trusted and surrounded myself with or around, they're fucking crazy and advocating for, or rather celebrating the death of, again, a husband and father.
No, by celebrating, they're advocating it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's one and the same. Yeah. You're right. You're totally right there. East Coast Soldier Boy says the two is like the Hydra effect. I guess you're talking about basically them getting rid of Charlie, just created a bunch of new ones.
Yep.
Deanra, TG Conservative Walton, says with a 5, even God realized some of these people are just evil. Sodom, Gomorrah. Yeah,
man.
That's
and you
what I was
gotta
saying
get
last
out
time,
of
dude.
there.
they
and
got
not
it.
look back.
We gotta start from scratch. Yeah, not wrong. Mazda Dinklage with a 2 says for the lurk attacks.
Mike,
and EP,
even in these
Mike,
difficult times,
they still even during these difficult times. Epic
Mike
Mickey
is still
Sugar-
charging taxes.
Bro,
Come on, Mike.
I
In
don't
this
know what to say,
economy?
bro. It's wild, bro.
Eddie with a 5 says most Twitter fingers won't translate to Twitter fingers. The left isn't ready for the smoke. Let's hope this doesn't get out of hand. I agree with you so much. Moto Geek with a 5 says, "Someone please read the quote. The man who wanted to be left." Oh, we just read it.
Man, you gotta, you guys gotta read Gulag Archipelago. It's the abridged version, which is already super big. It's the normal version is 3 volumes, but there's an abridged version that's only 1 volume, bro. You never see the left the same way.
Yeah.
All right, we have the last Boy Scout with a 5. We have wait a minute. No, I skipped a bunch. My bad. East Coast Toaster Boy says, man, fuck their audience. They should get an audience that isn't made up of failed abortions. If anyone in my chat is like that, then we're talking about like the creators that are looking at their, I guess, their audiences and seeing, which I've seen some of that. Like they're like, oh shit, man, I'm surrounded by a bunch of crazy people. A bunch of crazy people follow me.
I don't give a fuck, man. I want them to leave. I want them to leave. I posted openly about it on Instagram. On Instagram is much worse than on X. There are some crazy people on my audience on Instagram.
Yeah.
And but I'm posting. I'm posting a lot of what I think there, and it's beautiful to see the cleansing happening.
Yeah.
I encourage you guys, every creator, to do that once in a while. Do some cleansing.
Yeah.
1992 Spaceman with a Ted says the one good thing I can see coming out of this, people like us realizing we're fighting Eddie Guerrero, not Rey Mysterio. Yeah, a lot of cheating still to win, so act accordingly. Yeah, they're dirty. I've been making this case for it. It's got me in plenty of trouble. I'm making this guy. I did songs about it. I've been making this case for 15 years, man. Like about these folks.
Going back to the creator aspect a little bit, you don't want those people for an audience, man. You don't want to financially depend on those people, for Christ's sakes. You don't want to. It's better to be canceled now than to become a hostage of people who literally want you dead or silent.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Last Boy Scout gifting 5. Actually, that's 10. I believe you did gifted before. Shout out to the last Boy Scout. Leader Lift, appreciate that. 5 gifted. Welcome everybody. Got a lot of members that have now joined. So thank you. Eric's Legacy with a 5 says, been a while. I chose to cut ties with people celebrating this, as you should. A few of them being customers and people I do business with, freedom of association. Well, yeah, I mean, look, that's telling you a lot about them, because if they looks like I know what did she message me telling me she had to drop off? Oh no, she said her audio gave out.
She's having audio problems.
Yeah.
She'll be back probably.
But like it's
no good on you, man. It's social ostracism is peaceful. You don't need to have a single ounce of feeling a certain way, feeling bad about this. It's the most powerful tool that is peaceful to shaping a society. It's from the bottom up, through culture, through social ostracism. That's how societies self-regulate themselves.
If you don't want to bake a cake for somebody, don't bake a cake for somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
There you go.
And also, it also hopefully is a wake-up call. If you have close friends or family members and you go, listen, man, you celebrating somebody's death or like acting like that, man, I just can't. I want nothing to do with that. and then you walk away. It's like, they have an option to either double down on their takes, or they have a chance to maybe reflect on that and go, you know what? This person has always been whatever, rational, normal, and I've been close to this person, and now they don't want to associate with me. Maybe I did something wrong. Maybe self-reflection will help me figure this out. Some of them won't, but some of them might.
Yeah, but to provoke that sort of reaction, you need to be smart about it. You need to be you need to be a diplomat. Not because you're on some sort of high horse, high heels situation.
Yes.
That's not what I want to communicate here. But because you're trying to be smart, if you have any affection, genuine affection for that person, and you feel that is mutual, you need to be smart about it.
Yeah. Agreed.
Absolutely.
I like that phrase. People don't care what you know until they know that you care. So if you actually care about your friend, you would be wise about how to approach it. Like, there's nothing wrong with having righteous anger. If you see all that evil and you're not angry, I would argue there's something wrong with you. Yeah. So, but how you approach it, I think, makes all the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Gothix, I think you're coming out of the wrong microphone.
Ah, shit.
They come from webcam microphone. It doesn't sound like terrible. You just come. You just come.
It was good. It was just different.
Yeah, it's just different. Not coming through that lovely Shure SM7B.
I do got bounce.
There you
go. Oh yeah, I figured some of y'all had to get up out of here in a bit, man. Appreciate you stopping by, Mike. What else?
Hell
what you been working on, man? And when you stream it again?
I'll probably be streaming tonight with Epicverse. Just be talking about some stuff. May have some updates real soon about some stuff, but
hell yeah,
a lot of back end stuff that I can't talk about publicly yet. So
there you go.
That's what I got. And then you go check out my channel. Yep, we did a stream yesterday talking about a lot of this stuff. And now I appreciate you guys. It's good to have a community that can talk about stuff and be rational and try to help people process everything going on, because there's a lot going on right now. So. Yeah.
Great stuff, man.
Shout out, Mike, man. Appreciate you, man.
See you, Mike.
Bye,
Take
Mike.
it easy, y'all. Have a good day.
Peace out, Mike.
Take
Peace
care.
out.
See ya.
All right. We have Corley with a 20 says, I have been judged for my political beliefs. Always just let it roll off my shoulders since they were just words, but this made me do a recording compiling my thoughts. Whether or not I upload it, we'll see. Yeah, I think everybody, whether you're a public speaker or you're a commentator, influencer, whatever the terms are, you had some reaction to this. And it was different. It was much different from anything else that we had seen. You literally saw someone get taken out in such a brutal way that was so influential. And I think it obviously there's messaging there, and anybody is going to look at that and feel some sort of way.
Yeah,
it's understood.
Something I would recommend to be considered. It's like let it out with a close friend or a relative, a family member first before publicizing anything.
Yeah,
and see, for you, and for you also to see the other person's reaction to what you're saying, to your tone, and also it's good to let it out.
Yeah,
and it's my poor girlfriend, man. She heard so much yesterday. It was like, before I made any public statement, I had a conversation with her, with my brother, with my family, and that certainly made me adjust certain things about my tone, about certain things I was planning to say. It's just useful to have more brains thinking about it. You know what I mean? Before publicizing stuff.
Agreed. I'm right there with you. On that says John's Bleed says, with being a member for 6 months, appreciate all of you guys speaking out. Thank you. Appreciate that. We have to. We must. We have Night Call says, love y'all. Stay safe out there with it too. Shout out to you, Night Call. Appreciate that. Angie with a 25 says, something most do not understand is we are individuals that have different thoughts. I do not agree with anyone 100%. You don't even agree with we got people married here.
Yeah,
we don't agree with our spouses 100% on anything, on everything. Like, let alone like political commentators and stuff. Says not even my mother and father. They taught me to be my own person, and I am thankful.
That's the
Oh,
greatest
she's complaining.
thing ever.
Yeah.
What do you mean you don't agree with me?
Just talking about it.
What do you
the greatest
mean?
lesson I ever learned was that, all these issues are extremely complex, and you can see how small-minded some of these peoples are with the takes that they have, because you're not looking at the big picture. And so they try to make this huge macro argument into this tiny one microscopic point, and they live and die on that hill. And you can't have conversations with those people because they're not willing to look at it. So
yeah,
I wish people would be a little bit more investigative.
I agree. I'm with you 100%. So
Wish people wouldn't be retarded.
Yeah, it's a big ask.
Ultimate it is. It does.
Apparently, that's too much to
That's
ask.
too much to ask, man. Ozzy Mendias with a 5 says the difference is when it comes to the left, their moderates defend the behavior of their radicals. I don't see that on the right. Well, yeah, obviously it's imbalance. I think we talked about that multiple times today. There's a big imbalance, and we're being dishonest or disingenuous if we're not acknowledging that. They don't react the same way to events. There's how they keep their sides in check is not the same at all. You do see, with the left, you tend to see a lot of justification, or you see a lot of acting as if it doesn't happen, right? Sticking their heads completely in the sand. It was like with that for national media to cover the situation on the train with the Ukrainian refugee. They had to have their hand forced basically by social media to say, you have not covered this, right? At all. And even when as an example, what was the reason? It was like with the whole Catholic school shooting. Like, I went live and I had known more information about it by way of investigative journalists, and I went out of my way to go to both CNN and I think even Fox, right? And they weren't talking about any of that stuff. The nitty gritty, like the fact that it was trans, they weren't even covering that, and I was like, damn, they'll try to ignore it as long as they realistically can. So yeah, it's not the same. It is not the same. I think anybody that's presenting it as if that's the case is being very dishonest. Demi Stones on the 5 said, left, right, our extremes, the middle way. The Lord's way is the way, says Demi Storm. Shout out to you with that Australian 5. We got Rogue Disciple, with a 10. Ethan Klein betrayed JP and said he was dangerous. Now look at who killed who. You could see him kind of going through his own wake-up call if you watch the video of him talking about it. It's again, what's going to come of that, I have no idea. Having nobody them hate monger with a 2 says, is this Marxism or retardism? I mean, both. Yeah, I was just about to say. Yeah, one and the same for sure. Like, can you have Marxism without the retardation?
If you're a Marxist, you're retarded.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you can't. Like kind of mutual exclusive kind of situation. So yeah. We have Johnny's with a 5 says Charlie didn't waste any of his years on the scam that is college. Well, no, he was hustling. He had been hustling since a young age. Sure.
I think it was Glenn Beck showed that tweet from him.
That was crazy 17. From 2011, bro.
Yeah.
That was insane, man. Kathy with a 10 says it is okay to be angry, but don't meet violence with violence. Not the answer. Well, aggression for sure. Like, you don't want that. Not at all. We have now with a 5 off topic. Dave Smith's coming to Dallas. When? We'll love to see him record an episode of Reverse HQ. Okay, I'll shoot him a text. I will shoot him a text. Sneaky Singer with a 20 says I left higher education in 2015. After 10 years, we hosted all levels of government. All student government events were treated respectfully regardless of ideology. It pains me to see what this has now become. Yeah, it's a hostile environment on some of these universities. Or at some of these universities, says God bless everyone in hell, Sir Wing. Yeah, it wasn't like it. And I'm not even that far removed. Like my last year of college was 2013. And yeah, it was nothing like what it is now. It shows how things can get bad really quickly.
Yeah.
And how like there could be a cultural change so fast. It's and I guess
slow drip.
Yeah, I was just about to say it's like, well, they had, to be fair, infiltrated for a very long time, and I think that helped. So yeah.
Well, it's the old playbook, right? You put one thing in front of them, they don't. It's boiling the frog, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You put one thing in front of them, they don't notice, and then they move the goalpost, and then they move it and move it and move it and move it.
Right.
Exactly.
Trash Vice with a 10 said, "Did you see SoundCloud song from someone in Utah released a month ago called Charlie Kirk Dead at 31?" I did not see that. Account name was God's Finest Scalpel. The internet artist found it, and now the song's gone. No, this is my first time hearing about that.
Yeah, so that was one of the people they thought might be. It was a trans person that released that on SoundCloud. I think they scrapped the SoundCloud page; it's gone now. But they actually had the picture from the person of interest, and then the picture of the person on SoundCloud, and it was a trans person, and the facial profile kind of matched, but I can't speak if there's any validity to that.
That is crazy.
But they did live in Utah near the campus.
All that stuff, man.
Yeah.
Snapshot it all. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Don't let them forget.
That is absolutely crazy. We have JM with a 5 says Charlie Murders comments is, I'm guessing that's a website or something, I don't know. Says it's like lives a TikTok on steroids. East Coast Toasted Boy with a 5 says, I'm surprised J.K. Rowling hasn't had that self-reflection with the trans issues she faces. She's definitely an idiot for not doing so. Well, she's had on the issue of the trans issue, yeah, but yeah, she hasn't quite put it together and understands how connected that is, and she hasn't come to the logical conclusion on the other stuff.
She isolates as an issue separated from all the leftism.
Right. So she hasn't got there yet.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's all connected.
Akikama with the 5 said you made a video and chart is showing that you employ authoritarian leftists, and now you say we can't coexist. What? And a chart is made. We made a video and a chart showing. I don't know what you're talking about with a chart. I have no.
In
no
this
idea
chart, you can see the authoritarian leftists that I.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. Now you say we can't.
According to the charts, you can see.
To my knowledge, I haven't employed anybody that is said like they were celebrating a murder of Charlie Kirk. Shoot, I don't know. Get in contact with customer service if you think that you have some evidence of that. Love to see it. April with a 5 says the left's proven discourse is rewarded. And let me be clear about right here, because this is especially retarded, and I'll go ahead and say that. Having a view that is liberal is different from being a deranged social justice warrior or some deranged like idiot authoritarian leftist, right? Those aren't the same thing. And again, to conflate the two is the problem there, right? This is why I say it's made politics has made so many people retarded and foolish and thinking that those are one and the same. Someone like, do you think everybody here, the Rippaverse, has the same exact political view? Is an ANCAP, right? Get out of here, right? I don't know if I can employ that many ANCAPs in any way, right? For the company. So those aren't the same thing. Those aren't the same thing by any means, and it never has been. I think it's very, very important to make that distinction and not think that just because someone, I don't know, has like one or two liberal views or something like that, like they're the same as someone that is doing TikToks on basically hoping that other conservatives get aired out. Those are two completely different things.
Don't put things in boxes, man. Again, myopic views of larger issues.
Can I also add to that? Because you mentioned about like not being able to coexist. It doesn't negate the reality that some worldviews are simply incompatible with one another. You know, and we saw this with like the whole open border situation. And then you got all these leftists screaming about Islamophobia. It's like, well, Islam is not compatible with the Constitution. Like if you actually read into it, it doesn't mean that we don't want diversity. It just means that we're being realistic that if you want a nation to thrive, you have to have standards.
Right. 100%. 100%. It looks like I got word that the person was referred to some sort of video, right? I mean, I guess they think that because of I guess there was some graphic in one of our videos that our video editorial team basically was just saying that, hey, people are on different sides of the political spectrum, and I guess they took that quite literally. Like like I go around polling everybody at the company, like, what are your political views? Okay, we're gonna make this chart, and you're gonna be 43% right here on the chart.
of Rippaverse is authoritarian. They identify themselves as authoritarian left.
Y'all look fucking crazy, man. We also have April Lynn Ray with a 5 says the left's proven discourse is rewarded with being unalive. What's the answer? Well, yeah, I mean, look, that's the symbolism of this whole deal. Like, definitely when you consider how he was killed, where he was killed at, like, that's like a guy that would go debate you was literally killed in a debate, which really to me shows that a lot of these types have zero interest in doing said thing. They just see you as an obstacle that needs to be eliminated, and you're just in the way. And yeah, like, it is very difficult to remotely reason. Well, you can't, let's be honest, reason with that type of person that believes that that's a justified response. That's not someone coming at this rationally. So yeah. We have Grandma's Grace became a YouTuber. Appreciate that. We have Cooks with a 20 says find the spots on the stream so I can't quote. Finding the spots on the stream. My things is what extreme is too extreme for subhumans constantly pushing the boundaries. They don't value life unless you're one of them, which isn't wrong.
Yeah, he's responding to me because I asked him, okay, what have I said? I don't disagree with you, man, and I think that's a fair question.
Yeah. Most definitely. Like, yeah, it is a fair question. I mean, it's one that I've talked about, before. It's like, look, you can't look at this like an idealist. That's what I mean when I say this. Like, you might want the world to be of a certain ilk or people of it, but that's just not the reality, right? And if you are dealing with those people, look, the reality is this. How this ends up happening, whether these people end up dropping those retarded ass views, I don't know. But what I do know is this. This is the factual statement of it all. This is the point that Hans Hermann Hoppe was talking about. If you are to maintain this sort of peaceful social order, right? People that don't want that cannot be in there. Like, you know what I mean? It's that's just the reality, right?
And that is not infringing on that person's personal freedom, because it's that someone in front of your house, like, I'm gonna set fire to your house. They grab a megaphone, whatever that's called. I'm gonna set fire to your house, and then the next day they show up with a match. They show me, ooh, I'm gonna set fire to it. It's like, are you not gonna do anything?
Right, exactly. Not gonna just sit up there and let you do it. Right, like as you're advocating for exactly this. So that's just the reality, and how you get there. That's what people are going to dispute and try to converse about. But that's the reality of the situation. Like, if we want a peaceful, liberty-minded sort of a social order, people that run antithetical to it have to be separated from those that believe. That's just a reality. Like,
physically, literally,
physically, like quite physically removed from that equation. They cannot exist among. Otherwise, you just are going to get, again, a illibertarian or illiberty minded social order, because those people are advocating against that. They're advocating against the complete opposite. Actually, they're advocating, for the complete opposite, and have told you that they don't give a crap about that. So like, that's just the reality.
We saw it happen, over in the Middle East. I talked to a bunch of my buddies that were there during OEF, and it's like, what do you want to do with these guys? You want to give them blue jeans and Coke? Like, they don't want it. It's not compatible. It just doesn't work. And it doesn't matter how many times you try to reason with them and force it to them. You give them money, you give them whatever they want. They're just rooted, and it's not going to change. So why are you trying to force it? It's incompatible.
Socially and culturally incompatible, right? Put it perfectly. Darth Gavel with a 2 says they can't kill us. Patriots together, strong. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. The celebrations of what happened are demoralizing, says Hoodblade, but many people are now noticing how many of their neighbors and coworkers want them unalive. Well, that's why I would say it shouldn't be demoralizing. I think there's two different things, right? You should take it more as a harsh reality. Don't let it demoralize you. Don't let it be a black pill. Just let it be a harsh reality. When you have now stumbled upon the truth, and that's the conclusion there. There's a lot of people that probably want you dead, and they don't have any issues communicating that. and you're just seeing how at odds you are, like just ethically, you're just not the same, like incompatible. Even don't let that demoralize you, but let it be a lesson and let it be a harsh reality. Like it's like, dude, that's it. It's not news. They're just telling on themselves. And maybe I think what people are having trouble dealing with is the fact that how close of proximity, right, that is. And how some of these folks are. It's like, yeah, it's some of your neighbors, some of your coworkers, maybe some of your family members that they don't want anything to do with this. And now they feel like they have I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna go ahead and say, I'm gonna, matter of fact, I'm gonna go on TikTok. And it's fucking crazy to me.
Thanksgiving is going to be very interesting.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I have some of those family members.
Yeah.
I have a buddy who is completely ostracized by his family. They've kicked him out. They won't speak to him.
Wow.
Because he voted for Trump.
Man, it's crazy.
That's what I've been saying, man. It's one-sided.
Yes.
It's been one-sided for far too long. That sort of shit needs to be. That's the sort of retaliation. Not talking about violence, not talking about crazy shit. The social ostracism retaliation is the minimum.
No, agreed. We have Deuce, not Bigelow, Boogaloo, with a 10 says confronted every psycho so far, celebrating, including the basis of my band. Ooh, that's got to be an interesting conversation.
Rough, man.
I told him I had many of the same positions. Charlie, do I deserve to be murdered? And I think it actually sunk in for him. Yeah,
that's a good point to bring across when there's like people who allegedly are your friends and your loved ones. It's like, hey, I agree with that guy. Do you want that to happen to me too?
Yeah, and I know you can speak to this as well, Dan, being a musician, man. Unfortunately, that sort of brain rot has plagued. It's funny because it's like antithetical to metal.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like not metal at all, actually. But yeah, I've dealt with a lot of that, especially in the early 2010s. And it's kind of crazy, man, to see people once they find out that you don't think like them, because during that, going into that election, everybody they were Bernie bros, right? Everybody was a bunch of Bernie bros in our industry, and I'm sitting here like, that guy fucking sucks. Or essentially, it was about basically what I was saying, and people took that with like so much shock, and they were feeling some kind of way. They're feeling some way about me and the band, the rest of the band. It was a crazy, crazy time. I remember when I first, because when I was in Far From the Gods, and we had I wrote a song called, because we did a whole EP that was basically me just doing creatively, basically putting like drips of like kind of anarcho-capitalist like ideals. Like I had a song called The Capitalist. There's a song called like I had an annexation song. All these songs like were kind of entertaining these. And once people were actually paying attention to the lyrics and to some of the stuff that I was saying, it got interesting. And remember, Far From the Gods based out of fucking Austin, of all places, and basically that's the California and Texas. Yeah. And man, it was an interesting time. It really opened my eyes to how screwed up the industry was, like especially with metal and hardcore.
It's an interesting phenomenon, man.
Yeah.
Because to me, we talked about this when we did that one-on-one here on your channel about what I perceive to be the foundations of heavy metal: strength, personal freedom, and self-reliance.
Right.
And those are the things, those three things are completely antithetical to anything related remotely to the left.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're not about strength. They're about weakness as a virtue. They're not about self-reliance. They're about like outsourcing the validity of their existence. They're not about personal freedom. They're about the power of the state above all, even above religion. They hate religion. They hate faith. It's the state above all. So it's a very interesting phenomena.
Yeah, agreed.
Well,
Yeah. Shout out to you, Deuce. We have Victor Chavez 15 says, "Remember, we may disagree with their opinions, but they hate us for ours." So one way to put it.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And like I say, you have to navigate life with that information. You know what I mean? Like that is the truth. I'm just hoping. I think that's going to be a way out of this. If enough folks that maybe have been swindled, confused, tricked into believing that their side was full of the good guys, assess this situation and have that reflection and are like, shh, damn, maybe we're the baddies.
Yeah.
And be honest with it too, because like, what makes you think that the way that they treat everyone on the other side, they wouldn't do to you? Like, I would not want to surround myself with people that act like that.
Good point.
Yeah. And if you want to test it, make one hot take.
Oh yeah.
Just make one.
Yeah. Deviate from 1 point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a cult.
Yeah.
No, bro, Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Those people, Joe Rogan, those are all classic leftists.
Yeah.
Those are leftists from the 90s.
Yeah. Blue dogs. Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
They loved
Joe Rogan.
Elon with the whole climate change stuff.
Yeah.
And now they hate him. Look how quick that changed.
Bro, Joe Rogan is pro how is it called? Universal basic income.
Yeah, UBI. Yeah.
There's not a lot farther left.
Yeah, that's about as socialist as it gets.
UBI is very left. Very left. And it's like, oh, he's right wing.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's Gothix brings up a great point there. It's like that should be part of your self-reflection and addressing that honestly. And like, yeah, what makes you think that you aren't one takeaway from them zeroing in on you and finding you to be the enemy?
Out of the club.
Yeah, like wait a minute, you're not actually one of us. And this is what's always got me about it's like the whole Nazism and shit. And when people say that they weren't socialists because they like beefed with other socialists or something like that, I was like, that's all communists have ever done. Look at the fucking Russian revolutions and all. That's all socialists ever done. Not like each other. Like that's it. Yeah. Because maybe one side is more or less more socialist or thinks that they're more socialist than the other. That's all communists have ever done. All because that's all the ideology knows, right? Is to corrupt, to destroy, and so eventually those guns, for lack of like in communistic terms, like that's figuratively and literally, get turned upon each other. That's all they've ever done is beef with each other. So yeah, you're not absolved from any of that. You're one takeaway. One takeaway from that being
absolutely you,
which sucks, but it's a reality. Someone talking about Trotsky. Yeah, Trotsky being exiled, right? Like again, he's about as communist as it's just Trotsky not a communist because they wanted him out, like, right?
Yeah, it's insane, man.
Mensheviks and the Bolsheviks, like this communists. The point I'm trying to bring up is communist socialists have always beefed with each other, always. We have Kathy with a 5 says, agree with that. You can't just unalive people when you get your feelings hurt. Well, yeah, morally, yeah, you're correct. But if from an immoral, not even an immoral, just they look at that more in like an agnostic sense, and it's like not a thing or it's fluid or whatever the fuck. They think that they're justified.
Yeah. It's because of the subjective nature of their morality, where the ends justify the means.
Yeah, all the time. So it's you're right, but they think that they can do that, which is why they're having the reactions that they're having right now on TikTok. And like I said, that was even a eye opener for me, not because I didn't think that they would react the way that they did. I guess I underestimated the amount of people that would be perfectly fine with doing it and putting their face to the name. Like post that shit on your own social media account that has your face and identification on it, which is me. That's you telling me you really don't give a fuck at all.
You're comfortable.
Yeah, as all get out with, insulting a man who just was murdered on, for everybody to see, and they're perfectly fine with it.
That's not policy. That's humanity.
Yeah. Yeah. It is quite an interesting group of people that you have to deal with and address and engage with, even in some cases. I want to ask you, Gothix. I know I've seen the rare occasions where sometimes someone comes from those conversations that I used to have when I used to do my campus tours or usually my speaking engagements. I'm just curious, have you ever had that, even if that seed didn't like kind of grow until after the fact, have you ever had those instances where maybe that confrontation or debate or dispute that you may have had with someone starts to manifest itself where that person starts to change their mind?
Well, I've had directly, I've only had one person. This is actually like my old community moderator who sided. She lives in the UK, by the way. She's not even American. So she was siding with all like the leftist side of the political stuff. And she came around maybe like through 2 years after the fact. We had like a long phone call, and she was basically admitting that she felt compelled to side with them because she was convinced everyone was right, because she's a very emotional person. And so I think in our society, we think if someone's angry about something, that must mean that they're correct about something, and there's no need for nuance because your feelings are the most important thing. So she recognized the flaws in her logic or lack thereof. But otherwise, I mean, I've had comments from people that have said, yeah, I didn't used to like your content, but now you've made me reconsider. I'm no longer a leftist. I've even found Christ in the process. I've gotten lots of that. But otherwise, on college campuses, hell no, none of that. I mean, to my knowledge, I've never received an email for one of these people, you know? Because I think also, this is part of the dilemma of having the ability to self-reflect, is it is unsettling for you to come to terms that you have been lied to your entire life. And that everything you have built your worldview on is all a sham. And I mean, if you're going to these universities, you're putting yourself in literal debt to be taught. So you would imagine that why would anyone lie to me? You know, I'm taking out student loans for this. It isn't to them. They don't even consider that they've been led astray. So I can understand the hesitation to consider the context and the logic when I go to these campuses and I try to engage in dialogue. Like, I'm not telling you what to believe, just entertain the idea and tell me if it makes any logical sense.
Right. That's a good point. I want to ask, I mean, obviously Dan being a musician, you're not like quite going campus to or show, man, I don't know, maybe you had some experiences doing some live shows before, but have you had like like anybody or any success where people like have, when you plant that seed and someone that may have been a crazy leftist kind of was like, wait a minute, maybe you're onto something?
Not really. I was never too good at debating, and like even in my personal interactions, and it's like I'm one of those people that doesn't like conflict, but that's why I always tell people that you can make a lot of a difference even if you don't like conflict by just walking away and just doing your thing and just being you. Like there was a live gig I did in 2019 in northeastern Brazil. I was wearing my don't threaten me shirt.
Yeah.
And just me walking on stage with that shirt, I could hear someone from the crowd, taxation is theft. just as soon as I showed up with the shirt. So man, just do your thing. You don't need to necessarily seek conflict. Understand and accept that sometimes conflict will come to you. Accepting that is liberating because it helps you to just be rational about it and put stuff in place to have to deal with that, either coming from polite people or from either violent people. You got to be prepared for that sort of shit nowadays more than ever. We've been seeing that. And accepting that is very liberating because it helps you take those actions rationally and just do your thing without necessarily seeking conflict. And God bless the people who are more tolerant to conflict There are enough of those people out there. For sure, Eric July is one of them. They're covering us, and just do your thing, man. Be yourself. Be honest. Be honestly yourself.
Yeah. Can I add to that really quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. To the point of like, you're not really into debate. I'm not either. I actually don't like confrontation. So,
I walk away silently and cut ties.
Yeah, I'm also not really well versed on a lot of topics, like some things more than others. But I find that the vast majority of these people who are celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, they're just regurgitating a talking point. They don't even understand why they believe the things that they do. So at minimum, if you think that you can see an opportunity to possibly reason with them, just ask, how did you come to that conclusion? What evidence do you have? Let them explain their reasoning instead of trying to throw facts at someone that doesn't care about your facts.
Yeah.
It's usually a short conversation.
Yeah.
The way put the ball in their court. How about this? You talk me through how you came to that.
Exactly.
That's a good way to handle that. That's actually really well. Excellent. I know obviously you've been in the kind of commentary space, and I obviously in content creation and stuff like this. But I don't know if that, be it in content creation, has been a sort of catalyst or a jumping off point or a seed that got planted for some folks that you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest things, obviously my views don't represent Rippaverse Inc. or blah, blah, blah. A lot of this was because of Jay kind of coming back into my faith and reanalyzing the way that I view the United States, the way that I view kind of this conflict that's been going on. I see this so much more as a battle for humanity, for the soul of humanity. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people really do tag it red and blue, and I think it's so much more complex than that. In my mind, this is all you have to do is look at what people are representing, what values. So are you representing the values of immodesty and tearing apart the family and, murder and all these different kind of things? Or do you value the family unit? Do you believe in your faith? All these different things that kind of factor into it. And the only thing that changes, and this has happened a multitude of times throughout history, is the face that evil wears. And right now, for me, it's liberals. And so, that's just kind of my bottom line. And so I think a lot of people, like I said, try to, put you in a box and put you a certain way. But this entire thing has absolutely clarified where I stand and how I should approach it moving forward. And I've been blessed enough to be given a platform and be able to speak to people and reach out and hopefully help them that, just last night I'm sitting there praying and talking to Jesus. And it's like, this is what you should be doing right now. You should get out and you should talk about this. You should try to provide some clarity, create some levity and help people get through this. So,
no, that's awesome, man. That's
well said, man.
That is perfectly said, man. And it's like, I've had some people, definitely when I would do my, like the college stuff, it was never instantaneous. And I don't think it's like that for most people where it's like, hey, you had a good idea and now their worldview is like completely changed. It's usually some seed that got planted, like that you said something and maybe they disagreed with you on the spot. I've had a lot of that, especially through backwards, but also through just even my speaking engagements, where it was someone that would reach back out to me. Hey, man, I don't know if you remember me. We got in an argument about X, Y, and Z, man. But now I get what you were saying. It's like 3 years after the fact. That has been more common than me, like someone like conceding the point that time. And the reason I bring all this up, because that seems to be a common theme with all of what we're discussing, is that impact that you make in that person's life positively, kind of for them to snap out of it. Oftentimes something drastic has to happen, like what we see right now with Charlie Kirk, or but if not that, it's usually something that is like slowly but surely, right? It's a slowly but surely kind of situation where eventually they'll get it. It might not be that minute, and maybe you got to be a little patient with them. And they may be very combative initially, but eventually they start to get it. And maybe it's like I say, years after the fact. So Let me see. We got.
Look at here.
What's up, dog?
What up,
Beardo?
What up, boys? Sorry, I'm late. I'm
good.
sure,
Just a
like a
little.
lot of you guys, I didn't sleep well last night. I didn't wind up
rough.
going to bed until about 5
I'm
a.m., 6
exhausted,
a.m.
man. I'm
Yeah.
exhausted, man.
I would sleep maybe like 2.
Yeah.
No, 3 actually a.m. I think I was like, it was crazy, man. It's
Yeah,
was hard, man.
everybody's-
It was tough to
everybody's
get to
very
bed.
tired.
Yeah.
Everybody's exhausted. But it's good to be among friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially today, 9/11 anniversary and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like it's a double whammy of emotion.
Yeah.
that's crazy, man. But yeah,
Crazy.
Beard, I for sure want you to get your. I don't know if you've been watching us, but I sure want to get your thoughts, kind of initially at least, on this whole situation. Like, what we really been talking about is what we think is going to happen on the other side of this.
Yeah.
I said it a little bit on Bro Science yesterday and on Jay's show, and unfortunately, my view is probably a little bit darker and less positive than a lot of people.
Okay.
I don't think this is something that we can vote out of.
I agree with that.
I don't necessarily disagree with that.
You got Ripper by the heart. Now.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I was like, I'm with you on that, bro.
Grab him by the heart.
This isn't something that you can vote out of. We're going to have to reciprocate, and like not the way that like a lot of people are thinking, but like how you said, Ripa, yesterday. For a long time, it's like in your Instagram video.
Yeah.
For a long time, it's been one side fighting a clean fight, wearing the proper boxing gloves, you know, with strict training, strict diet, and then the other side is wearing loaded boxing gloves. They're on steroids. They're doing every single thing in the book to take an unfair advantage, and that's how the left and the Democrats and the liberals have been fighting for since before I was born. And the conservative Republicans have been trying to do things the right way through legislation, through voting, and sticking true to the Constitution. When the other side, they don't think and behave the same way that we do. They don't believe in the same morals that we do. We have Jesus on our side, and we believe in the 10 Commandments, and that's what really kind of like sparked our Bill of Rights as well. You look at the Bill of Rights and you look at the commandments and you see a lot of similarities there, and that's just how we operate. But the other side does not believe in that. The other side does not. And this isn't something that we can vote out of. There's going to have to be a different way, a more aggressive way to deal with this, because the other side wants us fucking dead. The other side wants us fucking dead. And for the longest time since before Obama, I think really in 2008 is really when it started to get really crazy. Our side, we were trying to coexist with these people. Let's find a middle ground so we can coexist with them. And they want no part of that. The left wants no part of coexisting. They want to eradicate us and exterminate us and get us out of there. There's also some other stuff, some other crazy stuff coming out about Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk, for the longest time, Ripa, stop me if I'm getting too far.
No, you're not on
Stop me if I'm getting too far.
You're good. Yeah, you're good.
You're on
There's been a lot of stuff about Charlie Kirk and some political worldviews that he used to support certain countries at conflict right now. And now recently, he started to question those countries that he used to support. And I don't know if you've been seeing in the past couple hours and like late last night, now the FBI is looking into foreign intelligence. And Charlie Kirk started to question certain people who might have been intelligence for a certain country. And he started to question Ben Shapiro on the Daily Wire. He turned down an invitation from Netanyahu to go to Israel. Netanyahu invited him to go to Israel again just a few weeks ago. And rumors are that Charlie Kirk denied the invitation. So we've seen a lot of shady stuff, man. A lot of shady stuff with, foreign countries trying to get us involved into their wars. And since before Trump, we've done a lot of it. And they don't like that. They don't like that. And Charlie Kirk was one of the more outspoken younger generation voices for us youngsters to like listen to and aspire to. And he challenged certain perspectives And he did it with his words, man. He did it with his words. And I know a lot of people are going out there and saying, well, I'm going to do this in Charlie Kirk's memory. I'm going to go to these universities. I'm going to keep up the good fight. I'm going to keep doing this. Like, we need another step. We need to kick it up a notch, because what Charlie Kirk was doing was working, but we just seen what happened yesterday. If they can't beat us in a debate, they'll just
take you out.
They'll just fucking take you out, man.
They'll just take you out. That's the look. Like I said, I don't want to say scary. Like I want people afraid, but that's the part of it, or the wild card of it all. It's like you're dealing with a side that, like, I'm not gonna sit there and say like every leftist like is like, I don't know, they did it or something like that. Like, but the celebration of it all just tells me that there's a significant amount of people that wanted it to happen, will justify it happening. And that is when, like, these are people that are living with us, right? You know what I mean? Like, like we're sitting there living in
it's more mainstream and normalized than we thought.
Right. And that's the part that is like, what, like, damn, you know what I mean? Every person, I think, is like, especially when you see it the way that it's played out, like, damn, like we have a lot of people among us that, you know, we talk about foreigners all the time and how they may be culturally incompatible and they don't want to assimilate and all this stuff.
Bingo.
But we have a lot of that domestically as well. They're already here, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And not necessarily coming on a boat or across the border or something like that. Not to say that that's an issue that or isn't an issue or something. What I'm saying is there's also folks that are among us already that are, you know, citizens or whatever, or even born here, that are that don't like us, don't like liberty. Look at that as an evil thing, as if you are the one, if you are the advocate of liberty, you're the one that's the evil person, right? They've somehow tricked their own selves into believing that. Like, that's a difficult ideology to combat. And that's the point that I've been making for a very long time, is that they're dirty, right? They use people's decency. They use our decency against us because they anticipate that we're not going to react like they would react, obviously. And I'm not saying that people should go and do that. What I am saying is that don't enter the boxing ring, I guess is the point that I have been making. It's like, you know, they're dirty as shit. So you're only hurting yourself by engaging in that as if you are on a level playing field. You're not. So you need to adjust your tactics. You need to adjust how you communicate. You need to adjust, like, what, you know, as far as what you think is going to be a realistic outcome or outlook really on all of this. You have to make that adjustment, because you're not dealing with fair fighters. Like, you're not dealing with fair fighters. You're dealing with people that are dirty as all get out. And like I said, they want you dead. He's the moderate. He's influential, but in comparison to other, even like the Steve Bannons of the world, like, there are so many other people that you would lump in that box that are far more rougher around the edges than freaking Charlie Kirk. But it doesn't, let's say this, they don't make that distinction because they don't care. It's the same to them. He is the same as I am, even though I might believe this and whatever. That doesn't matter. They see that as the same. So even the polite one, the one that's willing to debate, the one that's willing to have the dispute, the one that's willing to actually engage with them, they see as all of the nasty terms. And that's why they feel like they're so justified in their actions.
Well, yeah,
and evil people.
And they don't cooperate in a well-educated debate. Like, that's the thing. Only one side is willing to sit down and have a true debate. The left and these liberals, they sit down and they interrupt. They're rude. They don't let the other side put a well thought out, put together argument. They will interrupt you in the middle of it. They will scream at you and yell at you and call you all the buzzwords while you're trying to form a well-educated point. They're not willing to listen. And most of the time in my interactions with having difficult conversations with people or debate is that they aren't even listening to what you're saying. They're just waiting for their next turn to talk.
Because they know they're wrong. And
then that's when the debate is over.
It's an emotional conversation.
Like, you're not listening to what the other person's saying, and you're just waiting and forming your next opinion that you're going to say, and you're going to interrupt and blurt out, then the entire debate's lost. So we need, and that's why I'm saying, like, debate is only going to get so far with these people because they can't do it. They don't know how to debate.
Yeah,
they just get angry.
I don't know exactly. I don't know about the rest of the of you in the panel, but I know Ripa is an anarcho-capitalist. We have, as NCAP, we have the experience of having disagreements with both sides, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, Ripa, but it's a complete different experience.
Oh yeah,
disagreeing with a conservative and disagreeing with a lefty. It's night and day.
It's night and day.
It's completely.
Anytime a political dispute has ever just about got physical with me, as long as I've been doing it, it has always come from the left. Always. Yeah. Anytime someone wanted to inflict violence on me or tried to, like be it at a show or something, I've had those close calls. It's never come from like some fucking conservative upset. They may be upset, but not. It's a different experience. And I say that as someone that obviously for the last it is maybe almost 10 years to the day, because I think my first appearance, it was either 2014 or 2015. I think it might be 2014. I might be wrong on that. Was the first time that I had ever appeared on Blaze, right? Is with Dana Loesch, if you remember when she was over there. And like I've been there doing that for 10 years, right? At minimum among them, and they know I'm disagreeing. This is what tripped me out about the old Charlie Kirk. People like, oh, well, you hated Charlie Kirk, you disagreed. Have you ever watched Blaze over the week? I disagreed with Sarah yesterday. So it's like, what does this mean? I despise her? No, I love her to death. Like, you know what I mean? So that's not the case. But yes, to your point, Dan, completely different experience. Completely different experience.
Absolutely,
they at least
man.
will invite me to obviously have the discussion, be more open to and more receptive to what our ideals are. Whereas to the left, for the most part, it has been you are basically, they'll lump me in with it. This is why I don't go out of my way to combat that anymore. Like
exactly.
Like when someone's like, oh, he's some fucking conservative or whatever, I'm not even going to dispute that, because you look at it all the same anyway, and you're going to put me in the box anyway. It doesn't matter.
No, it's a cope. Yeah. It's a cope because the whole political spectrum, the whole actual diversity of thought that's around the world philosophically and politically can't stand those guys. It's like it's not just conservatives that can't stand the left. It's it's centrists. It's moderate leftists like Joe Rogan and Elon Musk. Yeah. And it's objectivists. It's libertarians. It's classic liberals. It's apoliticals, anti-politicals, people who don't give a fuck. Every single normal person, the whole political spectrum, can't stand you. And to cope with that, they have to say, oh, it's the right wing that can't stand us.
Yeah. Oh, dude, the political spectrum nowadays has become like all these 52 different genders.
I disagree, man. I feel like it's 5% and then the rest, and they're all right-wing conservatives. That's basically how they've done it.
Well, to them, I mean, obviously you have people believe in, have whatever political or economic philosophies that they adhere to, but with them it's they put it in the same box, which is why obviously this got revisited, because we were pulling up some of the old tweets and stuff. When me and Talib Kweli had our beef during that period of time, like he was calling me Trump supporter and all this other racist dumb shit, and I'm like, what are you fucking talking about? Like I'm not even like, I don't even align with that. Like what are you going on about? But that's he more so, and I'm not trying to revisit old shit. He's a fucking loser. But what I'm saying is how he thinks is basically akin to how the rest of them do, in the fact that you're all the same to them. Or they at least put you in the same box, right? They don't separate, though. Yes, an ANCAP is much different from a fucking like milquetoast conservative. Those are completely different, especially economically, philosophies, and they clash often. To them, it's the same. To them, it's the exact same, and they put you in the box.
They do clash often, Ripper. You're completely right, but I feel that as of late, the anti-leftist movement has being uniting itself a little bit. Don't you
Yes,
think so?
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, most definitely. I mean,
I have been hearing conservatives say taxation is theft a lot, man.
Oh yeah,
as
no,
of
there
late.
has been again. Well, I think that's just natural. That side is more receptive to it because when you think about it, it's more or less like if you think about ANCAPism, like it's more or less the logical conclusion anyway, right? Of like these principles that they claim to adhere to, where it would be like just capitalism and freedom and all this is really all that is. So that's why they're often more receptive to our message than the left, like than they are, right? So they come from a more like it's almost like a minarchist libertarian is essentially what it is. That's what a conservative would be. If they were consistent, they just be a minarchist, right? Would be all that they basically are. But yeah, that's why they will be more receptive to that because the principles that they personally adhere to are more similar, right, to ours. Where I don't really got anything in common. Like with the leftists, this is crazy. Like they will come to, and this is why people used to always get mad. Not as much. If people have maybe been following me in the chat, maybe been following me back during like 2011 and all that stuff, where people used to really get irate with me because I would reject any sort of alliance with the left on any issue. They would get very mad at me during those days because I would say like, bro, how you got to your position to me is as important as the position itself that you take, right? Yeah. So if you may be against, for example, like for example, if we look at like just government, like welfare statism, right? I'm against it for one reason, right? I obviously understand the taxation, the extortive, the theft element of it. So I'm against the current regime. I'm against the current government or against the current like welfare statism, HSS, whatever. They will also be against it, but they're not against it for the same reason. And oftentimes what they want is worse than what is already implemented, right? So we don't just because we dislike a thing or we think a thing is bad, we don't think it's bad for the same reasons, which is why we're not allies, right? So again, it just goes back to the fact that I think that the quote unquote right as people, which again is just everybody to the right of Stalin, they have a lot more in common than what we do with that side, or rather the left. So yeah, it's they're dirty motherfuckers, man, and they've been dirty for a very long time. And yeah, Peter, I know you had just kind of chimed in. We had kind of been talking about like I don't know if you've been keeping up with some of the reaction from like TikTokers celebrating.
Oh yeah, I've seen most of them.
Yeah, it's fucked up, is it not?
It's disgusting, and it's because they're brainwashed. And I don't want to beat a dead horse because I've said it several times. We've all probably said it, but you don't hate the mainstream media enough. And this is what happened. This is what has happened. Charlie Kirk's blood is on the media's hands. Because what's going to happen? Do you think that if you're going to be calling one side and all these people, whether it's Donald Trump or JD Vance, even the Daily Wire, or Charlie Kirk for that matter, and all these outspoken young Americans who are on the conservative side, if you're going to, for the better part of maybe going on 11 years, if you're going to call them Nazis, if you're going to call them Hitler, if you're going to say that they're what's wrong, we're going to be living in a Nazi Germany under this regime, under Trump, if you're going to do that and keep implanting that thought into their brains, into the side that is, let's face it, let's call a spade, very mentally ill, very unstable, didn't live in a stable home growing up. And if you're going to keep calling people Nazis and Hitler, people are going to believe you, and they're going to take matters into their own hands because they think that's what's right and that's what they think should do. And then you have all these people yesterday, like Kamala Harris and all these other people who are on these left-wing media outlets saying, oh man, yesterday was a tragedy. Prayers for Charlie Kirk and his family. First of all, you don't believe in prayer because you are anti-religion, you are anti-Christianity, you are anti-Catholicism. So miss me with the we're praying for that because we know you don't believe it. You pray to a different God than we do. So miss me with that shit. And then like this is what happened. You caused this, the mainstream media, MSNBC, CBS, and there aren't people at Fox News who are all too innocent either.
No, not wrong.
That's what happened yesterday to Charlie Kirk. You cannot brainwash people for 10 plus years and expect everything to just be fucking sunshine and rainbows.
You nailed it. I mean, look, when you sit there for years on end demonizing a side, and you now have convinced a bunch of people that these folks are as evil can get, simply because they, I don't know, again, adhere to traditional family values and capitalism and no low taxes and stuff like that, and that in itself makes them evil. Well, yeah, I mean, you get a bunch of people that believe it, and like, especially when it came to like the funny mustache man and stuff out of Germany. The point of that, the whole point, and we talked about this earlier, the whole point of that is to dehumanize you, so that when they do something bad, they feel justified. Yep. Well, I'm taking out the evil, and there's unfortunately a lot of crazed people, emotionally, gullible, let's say that, naive people that believe that stuff, as you were trying to liken not just half the voting population, anybody that really disagree with you, you were trying to liken them or sense that they were akin to that. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what they expected out of well, maybe that was exactly what they expected. And that's the real demonic aspect of it.
I think it's the norm. I personally tend to believe that is the norm. That is the goal. That is to be expected. Of course, there are people that are naive and are being used, and some people are sincere in their beliefs. Like, let's help the poor and all the leftist bullshit that is designed to capture sincere, good, well-meaning people that don't like to think too much about stuff. But I believe there's definitely a norm on the playbook of how socialism works. I talked about it at length already. It's just historically it's how it works, how it goes.
It's always gone this way.
I mean, look where they targeted, right? Look immediately where they targeted. Education system, grab them young. You know what I mean? They've got a malleable mind. So there you go. It's freaking brainwashing, dude. This shit's evil.
Yeah.
I have a pretty deep question for all you guys, especially Ripa, but based in some deep psychology here. And it goes both ways. You've seen the government, especially you've seen Chuck Schumer and Hillary Clinton say it like, oh, the government is just as important as raising children as the parents are. Like we are responsible, and even Joe Biden said, "Oh, they're all of our children," and it goes both ways. Man? Yes, verbatim.
Communism is not just with your money.
So here's the
with
question.
Your family too.
Yep. So here's the question: and I've been thinking about this for a lot, especially in the past 24 hours. Why is it so appealing to the left and the liberals wanting more government, to be governed harder? And I'm thinking, and I'm just trying to boil it down to, it's not only just mental illness, but because maybe they grew up in a weak household with no father, with weak parenting, loose parenting, and they are seeking something. It's something that they want and they craved all their life, and maybe that they didn't even realize it. But when the government is giving them handouts, they're helping pay for their groceries with the EBT or welfare and stuff, to be governed harder, to be told what to do and how to do it. It's something that they missed out on and was absent their entire childhood because of weak or loose parenting or an absence of a father. That's why they are so drawn to the Democratic left of being governed harder. I'm interested to see if you guys can see that as well.
That would be my opinion, and I'll take it a step further. I believe that, and there's been many, especially anarcho-capitalist philosophers like Hoppe, who has brought this up, and that is that the last line of defense against government is the family. Yes. And a lot of people that have been born and raised in these broken homes, they don't have structure. It doesn't exist. They do crave that sense of direction, but most importantly, government is. So if you have like a strong family, your need for the government's involvement is significantly lesser in comparison to someone that doesn't have that has never experienced that. Right? They know that. They understand that, and this is why the breaking up of families. I mean, people seen what's happened to Black people throughout the welfare statism 50s and 60s, right? And the growth of that, and how that just completely destabilized, the nuclear family there, right? And thus its economics, and thus you can control them because you have people looking to you as the solution. That's the way. That's the move, right? And this isn't even like just an American thing. This is something that has happened over the course of human history, where essentially the state replaces the family, or the family becomes a state, whatever way that you want to put that, and why they are so aggressively against that in every policy that they advocate, every policy that they claim is going to help better Americans. For some, if you'll notice, for some reason, not only does it do the opposite, it is a responsibility of the family, right? And they recognize that. So they try to fill what more or less that void. So they know if they can eliminate that family, that nuclear family, people will become more not only dependent on them, but they're going to look to them for the solution. When if they were raised in some sort of structure with a mother, with a father that gave them some sort of sense of direction, they would have all the tools to where they wouldn't need to rely on them. The government's attack, especially in America, on the nuclear family is one of the things that isn't talked about nearly enough. They want that stuff busted up. And this is why I think and though people look at this as harmless, I think one of the most rotten things that the government has ever done is subsidize failure, right? In the welfare statism is essentially all that it does. Basically encouraged, especially in America system. I can't speak for the other places in the West, especially with the America system. They have incentivized broken homes through subsidizing single motherhood as well, basically allowing people to get enriched off of breaking up, or enrich themselves, breaking up. You've given them everything they want. This is how Dr. Thomas Sowell would always word it when he was like, think about what welfare statism is, right? It essentially says that there's this line. So as long as you are below this line economically, you will be given whatever you need by the government. The minute you get over there, they strip all of that shit away, right? So it
now you owe the government too.
Right, exactly, right. And then at that point, you then owe them for stuff that you create yourself. Right. So as long as you can stay right here, it breeds mediocrity. It breeds failure. Not even just mediocrity. I would take that over failure. As long as you stay right here, all is good with them, and they're going to give you everything that you need. But I do believe that a lot of these lunatics, I mean, it's no secret, right? If you go talk to these lunatics, some of these weirdos and freaks at some of these colleges, you'll often find out that they do. Not to say exclusively, right? There are some weirdos that shouldn't have came out weirdos, but by and large, you can go poll them yourself. Do they have a good relationship with their mother and father? And almost all of them will tell you no. One or the other. They got daddy issues, mommy, whichever one of those. There's some fundamental problems, and you wonder why they came out fucked up, or rather why they look to the government so much for a solution to their everyday lives, man. That was purposeful. That was not something that was done just incidentally, and that was just a consequence. I think that governments went out of their way, especially in the 1950s, whole greater society, all this shit that was being perpetuated, not just in the West and the East as well, during that period of time, to basically get more people dependent on the state. This is why fucking LBJ is one of the worst pieces of shit to ever walk the planet.
Yep.
So
absolutely, man.
Have you
dude, just dry the money up for a year. Watch what happens.
Yeah.
People start working.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm for total elimination of it. Not even in an incremental sense of welfare state. I am for the total eliminate. If they said tomorrow, these folks will be off of it. Trust me, they'll figure it out.
They'll find a way.
They will figure it out. If you took it from them and say, all right, EBT is no longer as of Friday, no longer going to be effective. That money's gone. It wasn't there in the first place, really, but it's not. That money's gone. Bet you folks start acting right.
Or
life finds a way.
Rioting and looting is at an all-time high.
Well, they might do that. Yeah, because they might struggle, but on the other hand, this is why I think again going to the second rotten thing that the government sort of incentivizes, and that is self-defense. They don't like that. They despise that. They want you again dependent upon the government when it comes to being able to protect yourself and most importantly those around you. If people that have lived in these other states, I've been talking about this. Which is all tied into leftism, which is why it's relevant. We were just talking about the Ukrainian refugee sort of that are stabbed. And you got people looking at, like, if you see more videos of it, how people are just kind of just standing around and people are like, why are they doing that? I'm like, bro, this is the result of watching for decades people be basically criminalized for stepping in.
Yep.
And that's the fall of a just society, right? Or a just one. Where
Daniel Penny.
Good, right?
They made him an example because these criminals are protected, and they made Daniel Penny an example because they don't want you to step in.
Yep, and that's what they
exactly.
Want.
It's very interesting.
Costs lives. Go ahead.
Yep.
Yeah. It's very interesting psychologically speaking because what Ripa said is on point. I would add that there's a lot of specifically fatherlessness involved. Because what you perceive in the behavior of those people is an overly feminine upbringing. And this is not a knock on our beautiful women here. I'm being polite. I don't know if you're beautiful, but you get my meaning. This is something that requires balance. Femininity requires balance. Masculinity requires balance. That's why we're different, because we balance each other. When I raise a child along with a woman, we are imprinting masculine and feminine characteristics on that child, regardless of their sex, that they will carry out for the rest of their lives, and that they will use as lenses to see the opposite sex as well. So what you see in leftist women is like hate for men. What you see in leftist men is like femininity, feminine guys that cannot stand for themselves. And the classic psychologists call that the spirit of the devouring mother. It's like the overly feminine upbringing without the counterbalancing of a father, overprotective upbringing, like that aligns totally with their relationship with the state. The state should be responsible for providing my security. The state should be responsible for providing my daily bread. So that's my opinion. There's a lot of fatherlessness involved because you have like the protective spirit of the mother and you have the adventurous spirit of the father, and both of those balance each other in an upbringing that is healthy.
Agreed. Man, you put that together. Like I said, it's all connected. Like all this stuff that we're talking about is, I mean, leftism is modern leftism, authoritarian leftism is something else. I want to get to some of these because I know I missed them. They've been hanging out for a while. Deuce Boogaloo with a 5 said, I think the Rubicon finally been crossed. Every person caught celebrating is getting fired. State of Florida says any employee, teacher will be fired on site. Well, yeah, we've seen that. We've seen, obviously, we talked about earlier the whole thing that was going on with DC, and obviously they let go of that. Well, they didn't let go of them. I'm pretty sure the contract already got paid. But what they did was cancel out this the Red Hood stuff with he is, because I believe they're trans, had written or whatever for them because of the stupid statements. We'll see what happens, because we're seeing a lot of game developers and weirdos that are part of a lot of different things that have said some egregious stuff about this. So yeah,
the Carolina Panthers football team fired somebody this morning from one of their front offices for making fun of Charlie Kirk yesterday.
Okay, there we go.
That's a good sign.
That absolutely is a good sign. That's a fantastic sign that this isn't you can't be doing shit like that, bro. At all. All right, we have East Coast Social Board with 5 says that infighting and beefing among commies and diet commie socialists you guys talked about is just government level gangbanging, status rivalry. It's been there since communism and Marxism was conceptualized. Socialists Anybody that tries to use this, you should go watch my video essay on this, that tries to claim that Nazis weren't socialists because they beefed with other socialists is one of the most dumbest things you could possibly say, because historically communists and socialists have always done that. They have always beefed among
not
each
always
other.
amongst countries, but inside.
No, look at the Russian Revolution. Look at multiple sides.
One on every 3 citizens was a government agent.
Yeah,
they were telling on their neighbors.
Yep, yep, exactly. So yeah, that has happened historically. We have Gentile with a 10, excuse me, says, is that a Vanna profile picture? Shout out. Says Eric and a random head shop owner helped me overcome my Bernie bro nature. Shout out. Wasn't it Vanna that we went on their farewell tour? I'm almost positive we were on Vanna's farewell tour. Backwards that was. But yeah, man, those are the days, man. And that's you've probably heard me mention that over the years about, look, man, I used to do that music and stuff. I just wanted to plant a seed. Like, I wasn't anticipating that people were going to get it that the day they listened to that track. But, you know, if they were curious, they wanted to figure some things out, they could do that. And that's what it was all about for me.
X-Wing, you got a bounce?
Yeah,
I gotta head out. I got one more meeting here today, but hey, thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate you letting me pop into this discussion. I'm definitely batting out of my out of my zone here with you legends, but
hell no, dude.
Not at all.
Not at all, man. I appreciate you, Joe. I know it's kind of underwhelming, man. So I appreciate you
problem.
joining, bro.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys. I'll see you on the next one.
For sure. See you,
Take
brother.
care, brother.
All right. Before I do these, we got Film Kraken with a 5 says, Dan, thank you for your speech on socialism. Everybody needs to hear that message.
My pleasure, man. Talking from experience.
Let's go. We have Thrash Fights with a 5 says, Beardo, did you see Jackson Dart's response? I think mentally ill are gonna attack him for it.
I did not, but I'll look it up.
Darth Gavel with a 5 says, it warms my soul knowing that Charlie Kirk would have been president. He was on that trajectory. You got that feeling for sure. Eddie with a 2 says, we need Beard Cast ASAP. The DNC is a terrorist organization, says Darth Gavel again. We got East Coast Social with a 10 says, Ripple, one thing I appreciate you is that you're like Thomas Sowell in the way that you can explain topics in the simplest form. That's easy for us to get them and understand when they explain them. Well, that's what I appreciate so much about Thomas Sowell. And it was one of the things that I aspired to do as well, in that he was able to, like, if you read, for example, Basic Economics, it's not a bunch of charts. Shout out Yellow Flash. I see Yellow Flash in the chat. He wasn't trying to explain it with a bunch of charts, trying to make this stuff confusing. He wanted to break it down for the common man to understand. And that was always, what I did. So I try to use like music as my vehicle and everything, just trying to, I'm a common dude, just trying to break it down for the common man to understand, not just appealing to, academics and, or intellectuals and things of that nature. So yeah, that's a thing I take seriously. Go, you got something you want to share here?
Yeah, so this was just the super chat that somebody said about Giants rookie quarterback Jackson Dart reposted Charlie Kirk, or a Charlie Kirk fan account on his Instagram, praying for him and his family. Charlie did great things for our country. Political violence needs to stop. Pray for our countryman. This is disgusting and sad. And then I also seen this morning on Twitter, I forget who the ex-NFL player was, but said, are you guys really that surprised, or that you guys didn't know that most of the NFL is conservative? So I thought that was interesting. But yeah, this is Jackson Dart reposted this on his Instagram this morning. So that's my quarterback. Let's go.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of folks in the chime in, even the guys on our side, like Des Bryant has been chiming in all morning on this and basically telling people that y'all are freaking crazy, man. Which is cool. Yeah. That's awesome. I remember I've
been getting messages, been getting texts from people who are not political.
Funny story, quick story. I met Dez. First time I met Dez was at some fucking party the year he got drafted. And he had this big ass, this guy didn't give a fuck. Wearing this big ass, this is a hood party, by the way. Wearing this big ass chain the entire time. He's walking around, no shirt on, didn't give a fuck, man. I was like, yeah, that's a Cowboys wide receiver right there if I've ever seen one. Sarah with a 10, no message at all. I do appreciate that. Thank you so very much. All right. So let me go here. I know we're already 3.5 hours into this. I didn't know how long I expected this to be, but we had to pivot. We had to pivot. We were gonna stream and talk metal and listen to things, but unfortunate stuff happens, and we wanted to. Today wasn't a day. We will do it. I can promise you that we will eventually do it. It's just we'll wait. We have Sarah again, so that's 15 total. Says the field can't be completely leveled because we have something they don't. Jesus, I like that. I like that a lot. I like that. Appreciate that. Thank you so much for those kind words, Sarah, and appreciate you for the 15. You're awesome. But yeah, so we had to pivot, and I think it was awesome to sit here and chat with everybody, people in our corner of the internet, as well, to just talk about everything. I know we had a release today that I haven't talked about at all. The definitive Yaira went live today. I mean, the company can't just stop, so they're gonna do their thing. Make no mistake. And we also are closing down Norfolk to tomorrow at 11 p.m. So yeah, it was a weird time. We wanted to just we'll do that when we do that. And I'll keep
it's
you guys
important
posted.
To keep up producing escapism, man.
Yeah, most definitely. So that stuff is there. You can go get the definitive Yaira, of course. And you can get Norfolk and everything else, but we were like, let's talk about something else today. Dirty Wild Bass with a 10 says, I feel this is going to radicalize a lot of young people. They took the milquetoast conservative. Now the youth will lean harder on people like Nick Fuentes. I think that, for sure, a seed was planted there that obviously is going to sprout in many ways. There's going to be a bunch of Charlie Kirks. How that looks, I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, it does say something, and people are paying attention to the fact that, they took out a guy that was pretty moderate and mild, which was stupid. I think that was a miscalculation there, but whatever. We'll see what happens. Nonetheless. Okay. I want to go. Well, wait a minute. I got another 20 here. Says this wasn't a political. This is coming from Salty Bug, by the way. Thank you. Wasn't a political assassination. It was a religious assassination. Charlie was first and foremost a man of God, and he didn't hide that either. And tried to lead people back to the Lord. Thanks to him, there's a rush to Christ with the younger generation, which is needed. I think us becoming more and more godless is kind of our problems. Not kind of, because it all stem from that. So anybody being able to, definitely these youngsters, convince them of that, I'm all for it. That is awesome. And it was awesome that he was able to do that with, it was especially, he was a young guy himself, and being able to appeal to the younger generation was something that was very, very needed and necessary. Okay. I'm gonna go round table. I want to know what everybody's got going. Be it this week, going to next week. I know two of y'all I will be sick on Tuesday for sure. But Dan, what else you got going on?
Nothing much, man. Still working on Men Buns Are Gay. And subscribe to Dan Vasc for that. Ring the bell to know when it comes out. There's been a lot of confusion about the bet. People are saying like, "Oh, you were supposed to write the song." No, Gary was supposed to write. That's pretty much why it's been taking so long. Gary was supposed to write the song, but now I'm writing the song as an extra because I knew if it depended on Gary, it would never come out. And this is not a knock on Gary. The guy's is busy, successful, wonderful YouTuber. So I'm creating the song as an extra. So yeah, it's definitely coming. But if you're not interested in any of that, you don't care about heavy metal, but perhaps you like some retro games, Super Vasc 3D on YouTube for that. Thank you very much.
Beautiful. Gothix, what about you? What you got going?
Well, working for you, so that's a thing.
That's a thing. That's true.
But other than that, I mean, I stream occasionally, make occasional content on my YouTube channel. It's, commentary. I rant about things, trying to get back into gaming myself because, as you can see, this is very exhausting, all of this.
Yes.
But it's needed. So yeah, check me out at Gothix TV on YouTube, Twitch, Rumble, all the places.
Let's go. What about you, Beardo?
I'm gonna try to do a gaming stream tonight. I fired up one late last night with X-Wing, and there was a lot of people who appreciated it. At first, I was like, man, it's just a little out of touch. I don't know, but I needed to do something, and it was much appreciated. So people just needed an escape and stuff and some positivity. So I'll probably fire up another gaming stream tonight as well. And I did a bros. I haven't decided yet. It all depends on I'm reaching out to Jay and X-Wing and stuff. So we'll see what we'll be doing. Maybe it'll just be a chill golf stream, PGA Tour, just chill, take it easy or something. Who knows? But I streamed Bro Science yesterday. Similar. It was like, man, we got to switch it up. We got to switch it up for Bro Science. So that's still live on my channel. I was excited to hear about
Rambo, man. I was excited to hear about Rambo too.
We didn't do the normal Bro Science thing. We didn't talk about Rambo yesterday. It was like literally like moments after the news happened. Like, so when we fired up the stream, we didn't even know like how Charlie Kirk was at that moment. So we went through a whole whirlwind of emotions yesterday on Bro Science. But that episode's still up if you guys want to check that out. And yeah, I just want to leave you guys with this. Boys, gentlemen out there, have situational awareness. Take care of your family. Take care of your spouse, your significant other. Express your Second Amendment right in the United States. Keep your head on a swivel. You also, and like this is very important, have the awareness to have a situational awareness. Do not forget to check things out, because here's the thing. The person standing next to you at the bar or sitting next to you at the restaurant, or who's standing in line next to you at an amusement park or at the grocery store, wherever you are, or even if you're pumping gas, wherever you are at, always remember to keep your head on a swivel. Check out your surroundings, because you don't know what these people are thinking. You have no idea what they're thinking. Even if they look like you, it doesn't matter. You have no idea if they've been brainwashed and they hate your fucking guts. So always keep your head on a swivel. Always have your strong hand open. If you're out in public, you got a drink in your hand, have the drink in the left hand so your right hand, your strong swinging hand is open in case you need to pop somebody in the fucking mouth. Always be careful. Always be careful, and keep an eye on your surroundings, man, especially as a young man and as a father or a husband. Protect your family, protect your woman.
You guys are starting to sound like Brazilians, man. I love it.
That is awesome. And yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I may pop in some streams. Obviously, I'll be on tomorrow's gonna be interesting, man. I'll be on Blaze TV doing a bunch of stuff tomorrow. There's gonna be some interesting stuff. I'm sure is gonna come from that. I may pop in on the stream. Obviously, we got tomorrow closing down Norfolk Glorious Death. So while obviously we pivoted to on today's stream, we didn't really get to it. We'd appreciate it if you went and pre-ordered everything over there, because that's going to end on at 11 p.m. tomorrow. Also, we just launched the Definitive Yaira, which collects Yaira's issue 1, 2, 3. So go grab that. Some cool merchandise, everything that's a part of that. And yeah, that's about it. Next week, of course.
Just a quick clarification. The pre-order of the comic book will go away tomorrow.
Yes. The pre-order. Yeah, the pre-order.
But the song, the track will always be available.
You'll be able to get that everything, and even some of the items that are part of this. You just maybe a cover or two might sell out for the Glorious Death issue number 1. So yes, that's what we're referring to. So be sure to get that if you have not already. And yeah, we appreciate you. Next week, obviously, we'll see probably Dan and Beardo and myself on Tuesday night's main event. And other than that, we're going to be, that's about it. I think that's it. We may have something, I don't know, launching next week. I have no idea. I'm not saying that like I'm telling you to get ready for something. I just genuinely do not know. I have no idea. So we'll see. But I'm going to get to work. Thank you all so much for tuning in. It's the longest. Funny, that stream that I did the other day was the longest stream that I'd ever did. Now, this is the longest stream that I think I've done of the year. So shout out to y'all for having me and chatting. Everybody's interactive and everything. Of course, thanks to y'all for joining me. X-Wing, Epic Mike, everybody that was a part of this. We appreciate you so much. But yeah, we will see you next week on Tuesday night's main event. Peace out, and y'all be easy.